no. Look at that. Are we looking at Arz's cat now?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't hear a damn thing you said.
All right.
And because I was a gazillionaire and I like building so much, I cut that price for free.
The species is dying, the birth rate is plummeting, women are chopped. But yeah, you know what? Get a fucking cat.
I know even more about grass.
Grass!
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted, Theo.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to Touch Grass. I'm taking over the stream today. Women, am I right?
Yeah. Tell me about them. Can't seem to get away from them.
Oh, no. We lost Theo. Oh, bummer. Rest in peace. It was fun while it lasted.
What's with
Hi, Theo. Hope
what's
you
with the
find your
airplane
dad.
food?
Oh, shit. Well, let's see. Nope.
Hello. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Hello.
Now you can hear me.
we were like totally
Just pour the
prepared.
rug right out from
Thanks,
under me,
guys.
Theo. I was
Okay.
gonna
We were
carry on
totally
your
getting ready
legacy.
to just take over the show without you.
How do we? There it is. Okay, there we go. We fixed it. We fixed it, gang.
Yes.
All right, we did it. For those of you longtime fans of the viewers, longtime viewers will know this is I think the third or fourth stream in a row where I've had a catastrophic audio issue.
Susan is just determined to silence you, dude.
Yeah, dude. Mama Susan keeps stepping on me. What
And
she doesn't
she's
realize
dead.
is
She
how
really must
much
hate
I
you.
like it. All right. Can we get a meme of Lady Demetrescu as Mama Susan? I've been asking for that for weeks. I am once again asking for you to make a Mama Susan Lady Demetrescu meme. It is
By the way,
necessary
Theo,
and good, and
you're-
we need it.
You're gonna like this little tidbit of information. It's not pronounced Dimitrescu. It's
What is it?
It's Domitrescu.
Domitrescu? Oh, that's even better.
That's
like
that's how you pronounce it.
I don't play video games. I've only ever seen that word written while masturbating.
Dude,
So
I can never
I
take
don't,
I can never take that part of the thing seriously because she's chasing you, and common sense dictates
Right.
you're supposed to run away, but you
Right.
don't want to.
No.
All right.
You, like,
Anyway,
hate me.
this is a great lead into the show topic. Welcome to Touch Grass. I am your intrepid host, Theo Snodgrass, comedian and podcaster out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Wherever you may be, thank you for making me a part of your day. The panel is here with me today. Hello, panel.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I have a lot of exciting stuff we're going to get into today. I'm very excited about the topics we have lined up. We're going to talk about what I call the Scott Galloway problem. I thought of that this morning in the shower, and we're going with it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Don't worry. You're going to have all the information you need to know when I'm done playing the clips. But first, before we do anything, what are you guys paying attention to this week that I may not have noticed? What are you guys looking at?
Trump, O'Kane key cards. I knew he was a JDM fan like I am. So he was in Japan and Korea, and he was like, "I love those tiny cars. Let's make them here in the United States."
I love that.
So in order to do that, we have to reverse the chicken tax and the fucking EPA laws. And I'm excited for that to happen.
Repeal everything.
Bring back
Excellent.
Ford Rangers and whatever.
Yes, bro.
Hell yeah.
Toyota Tacoma. Yes. I
Yes.
talk on this show all the time about how great the Toyota Tacoma is. It's one
Oh,
of the
you can run the
greatest-
taco into the ground.
Dude, this is what I'm saying. It's one of the greatest vehicles ever. You get all the Japanese innovation, the convenience of owning a pickup truck, but it's not too big to park downtown. And you can comfortably seat 5 in it, even though it's a completely reasonable size. And you can do all your own maintenance. It's Japanese, so it's going to last forever. Yeah,
Well, have you
dude.
seen the Toyota Helix?
Toyota
No.
engine's gonna get it.
So
Like
it
that.
wasn't allowed to be in the United States, so they're shipping it to other countries. So it's
Oh.
like the other it's basically like a Toyota Tacoma tank, and
Yeah.
it's modular.
Okay.
So you can like convert it and do all kinds of shit. And
Damn.
but because of the EPA laws and the chicken tax, we can't have them in the United States.
Man.
Like
Oh, very reliable Japanese brand. That's why I drive a Camry.
Yeah,
Very
but
reliable.
yeah, we can get
Yep,
K
rice
cars.
burners,
And shit.
put ours
But
to shame.
the thing is, the EPA laws make it so that as the combustion engine gets better, vehicles are forced to get bigger here. That's why the pickup trucks are massive and like 70,000 if you want a brand new pickup truck, as
Yeah.
opposed to just paying like 10. I just need to work. So,
Yeah.
Oh, you
Theo,
muted.
your mic cut out.
Jesus wept.
So
right.
airplane food. What about that?
What is the deal about airplane food?
Well, while Theo is
Why is that? When
dealing
did that
with big
become?
problems.
Does anybody know when that became?
No,
I'm
that was
someone around who
what's his
could
name?
answer that question. It was,
No,
someone
it
who
was a
liked
stand-up
you.
from
When did that become a meme? Airplane food. What?
No, it was a stand-up from what's his
Dying.
name? I'm drawing a blank of the guy's name. Seinfeld.
Was that Seinfeld that started that?
Well, he did like
Because I
a
feel like he
stand-up where
referenced
it
that
was in
multiple times.
I
But
don't
maybe
know.
that,
Seinfeld.
I feel like this has
Yeah.
been a thing for a while.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Well,
his name is right on the tip of my tongue. You said
I just-
Seinfeld in my
that's his
brain
name.
just
Seinfeld.
Who's that Seinfeld guy? What's his name?
Who's that Seinfeld guy?
Theo, we still can't hear you.
Theo, you're turning red. You're dying inside. if you need to leave and come back to your own show, go
Oh.
right ahead. That
Damn.
sucks. Seriously, Talk Studio, get your shit together. This is ridiculous.
Is
I
it Talk
think-
Third
Studio
time.
or is Mike? Because there's been times where mine is.
Hold on.
Because
Can we hear me now? Okay,
Yeah, you're good.
That's better.
I don't think it's your mic because I think it's
There we
Talk
go.
Studio just being gay.
Yeah. This is. It's been.
This
so
has
it
happened
turns out.
consistently.
So that was the thing. It turns out it was never. As much as I want to get into this like Mama Susan stepping on me meme, I definitely want to continue that because it's a very funny joke that I'm enjoying making. I'm getting a lot of mileage out of it. I want to keep making it. But here's the thing: it's not Mama Susan's fault. This is definitely Talk Studio's fault.
Okay.
Talk Studio. This is the third or fourth stream in a row that I've had significant issues or been just like I got booted from a stream. It's
Yeah, you
like,
went on Wednesday. I got
yeah.
completely muted.
yeah, it's just horrible. It's
Dude,
just horrible.
you should have seen me. I was riding around on my forklift loading trucks, listening to it, and all of a sudden you just went quiet. I'm like, is there something wrong with my earbud? I pick
No.
up my
You're
phone,
going quiet?
and-
What?
and I pick up my
Not
phone,
normal.
and you just look like a goof on my screen, like you're paused like this,
That was-
just mid sentence, frozen.
yeah.
Whole thing.
Here's my
crashed.
question.
I can't
Uh,
fathom that.
What's the benefits of Talk Studio?
Free.
It's cheap, and I bought a bunch of it in advance.
Okay, because I would say EV Mux, there's a free tier where you can still have 12 panelists on the screen.
All right,
And
I might
free
have to
tier.
give that a field test just to see.
Well, it is buggy at times because you see when I stream and like I'll show something on the screen and it disappears and it comes back
Yeah.
up. But the free tier, you can multi-stream to 2 destinations at the same time.
All right.
Hmm.
Shout out
Cool.
EV Mux. Speaking of people who use EV Mux, what's up? Toasty's in the chat. What's up, girl? How you doing?
What's up?
Toasty, friend of the show. Friend of the show. Let's see who's up. Watcher X is here. What's up, man? Let's see. Oh, Vagabond is here. What's up? Strider is here, of course. Roguish Nerd's here. What's up, man? Friend of the channel. Yeah, we might have to clip that. Oh man, that's horrible. All right. Well, that was fun. I cannot wait for Tiny Little Cars to come back. That is the best for like affordable transportation right now is kind of a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like the costs of like owning and operating a vehicle have gone up tremendously. The costs of acquiring even a decent used car have gone up a lot. Like it's really like tough out there for people.
Well,
So-
I don't know if you heard as well too. So Toyota and Honda are also now manufacturing parts for their older cars again.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if you got like a 90s
wow.
Toyota or 90s Civic or whatever, you can start getting OEM parts from Honda or Toyota.
Well, that explains the
Man,
amount of
Toyota-
angry
man,
Honda
Japan,
drivers
Japan
like
coming in
that.
clutch, I tell you.
But yeah, like if the price of everything else goes up, like there's certain cars you can just, hey, I can buy this car for maybe $200. I mean, that's not running. Order me another engine from Japan for like 500.
I
and
think
then-
when I
That's smart because they don't have to do that. but I feel like that's the kind of thing you do when you actually care about your about
Right.
your customers.
It's a different business model. So
Yeah,
with
I love
American
that.
cars, they're like, I'm going to sell you this car, and then I'm going to get you in the habit of coming back to the dealership for service, and then I'll lose money on the front end, and then I'll make money because you'll need to get it serviced again and again and again and again. The Japanese cars are like, we're going to make money on reputation. We're going to create a reliable vehicle, and you can spit on it, you could call it names, you could take out your day at work on it. Doesn't matter, and it's going to keep
Well,
working.
enough about the hooker and the riding shotgun. What about the car?
Hookers, friend of the channel. Okay. Let's see. All right, guys. Let's check in with the chat real quick, and then I want to kick off because I want to talk about this something that I've been noticing, and I have not known how to address it. So I'm going to show my friends. We're going to see what you guys think. All right. First of all, Kayla's in the chat. What's up, girl?
You also got a message from Twitter.
Oh, I got a message from
Twitch.
Twitter.
Not Twitter, Twitch.
Twitch. Hold on.
It's
Where?
you got your first bot.
Excellent.
We really have iShow speed here. Oh my god! Amazing.
What they didn't even put ISO one. One shows P 23.
Yeah.
No, it's all the VTubers that Theo doesn't want to talk about.
Yeah, dude. We're not, dude. I'm telling you, you got to stop beating off to cartoons. I'm telling you, dude, that's not good for you.
I have a VTuber for Theo.
I was talking to Nate actually, but you know what? Yeah, all of you need to stop beating off to cartoons. All of you. That applies to all of you and you in the audience. God damn it!
Watch.
Once I
I didn't choose like Theo. It chose me.
Or Scoo-chan, she's pretty base. She actually talks about the same topics Theo talks about.
Smuggle on his base, man. She talks about all the same shit you talk about.
We're
dude.
not. This is.
Kirsha is a lot of fun. She's a ton.
See,
of
God
fun.
damn it! All of you,
Strider
and Sue Strider.
There's no filter. There's no filter. She's the only one. I don't watch her consistently, but whenever she's on side scrollers, I'm like, okay, this lady is hilarious.
All right, F's in the chat for
Leaflet
the
too.
panel beating off to cartoons.
I don't beat off the cartoons. Just find her hilarious.
F's in
Well,
the
also
chat.
because well, granted, she was. I also very much admire her because she was one of those people who came out swinging against a couple people who were actually slandering her, and so I actually appreciated that.
I'm sorry.
Instead of
Theo.
just talking shit on her stream, she's like lawsuit.
Well, once you experience the full-blown autism of Chibidoki, you never go back.
I don't know what that is.
All right. This has been a lot of fun. Let's stop talking about the cartoons we like jerking off to, though, for the record.
That's for Vagabond Show.
For all you know, the VTubers are really men. Yes, thank you, Kayla. You guys are gay degenerates.
Not Scoo-chan, because she shows her body, just not her face.
How? How does it even work?
No. Nope. Time out. You're in timeout.
Theo
I'm
looked like he's about to have an
We're
aneurysm.
taking a break. We're taking a break. No. Not after that. Okay.
She does cooking streams where she just blocks out her face and she just cooks for like 3 hours straight or 4 hours straight.
All right. For more on this, check out Vagabond Show. I swear it's not hentai.
Vagabond needs to do an episode of, I swear it's not hentai, just covering VTubers.
Yeah, just covering VTubers. That's gonna be great. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna cover something that I call. This is something I call the Scott Galloway problem. Do you guys know who Scott Galloway is?
Know the name.
Doesn't matter. You will see. I'm gonna show you a video of him, and then we're gonna talk about the problem. I'm just gonna show you the video then. Let's see. Boop. Okay, so he was on Oprah recently, and he is ostensibly he's a guy who likes to talk about men's issues, right? No. So he talks about the problems that men are having. They're not doing as well at education. They're not doing as well financially. They're not doing as well romantically. All the kind of issues that we talk about here, he talks about them in a way that is normie enough that they let him be on Oprah. So...
And Oprah knows nothing about those issues.
No. Oprah's skeptical that they're even a problem. But, she had him on the show, to her credit. Now, the problem with him, let's see if you guys can spot the problem. I'm actually not going to intro this at all. Let's see if by the end of this clip you can spot the problem. It's a little bit long. Okay. So, all right, go ahead. Remember, the Stream Elements tip jar is in the video description. So if you feel like sending me money so that I can get YouTube Premium, please do. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Jack. So, Anne-Marie, what did you want to say?
So this has been such a great and enlightening conversation. I have so many thoughts that I want to add. I have to say, for a lot of my friends, we've just completely given
Remember, these are her friends that have just completely given up on dating, she's going to say. Go ahead.
up on dating. We're more focused on our family and our friends and our careers. And for me personally, I feel like I've gotten to a point where I really love the version of myself that I've become. I put a lot of work into her. I'm really focused on my career and that emotional independence. And it feels really great to be in that space. So I thought when I started dating again, that would actually make dating easier. But I feel like it's getting so much harder to actually find someone who is willing to come to the table and meet me where I am. So my question for Scott is, as women...
So bear in mind, okay, so just to be clear,
Oh, I recognize him now.
Her and her friends, right, which you saw, that gaggle of homely mids, right? So are having a hard time dating, and her analysis is, why can't I find a man who's good enough for me? That's her question, right? And her analysis is, I'm doing super well in my career. I've had my lips done. You know, I've meditated. I've traveled. Right. I've you know, completed various educational attainments. Why can't I find a man who's good enough for me? And this is how Scott Galloway answers it. I'm sure you guys have seen him. Okay, this is how he answers it. Go ahead.
Continue to level up more and more. Why do you think that we can't find as many men that are willing to meet us there?
As women continue to level up, why can't they find men who are willing to meet us? Remember, notice how she frames the problem.
You're not
Notice
a
how
Dark Souls character.
No. Listen. Notice how she frames the problem. I have leveled up. Men are not willing to level up with me. So she frames this as an issue of willingness, as in men could live up to my lofty standards, but they're not willing to try hard enough. That's, you know, they're not willing to, right? And remember, this is she's fat and somehow still not the ugliest friend. You see what I'm saying? And this is where her standards are. Anyway, go ahead. Let's see how Scott Galloway frames the problem, and let's see if what he does is helping or hurting. Go ahead.
Okay.
It's a little bit long, but we're gonna ride with him.
So what you said was really telling, that you're pouring your energy into family, friends, and work. That is very telling. That's more indicative of women than men. And that is, women tend to channel that energy, that romantic energy, or lack thereof, or interest, into very positive things, whereas men sometimes channel it into negative things. The reality is, my message, I'm not here with a message for hope on this, because the reality is, women made socioeconomically, horizontally, and up. Women, generally speaking, and this isn't true for everybody, but generally speaking, women who graduated from college don't want to date men who didn't graduate from college. Not always, but generally speaking. It's the high heels effect. And again, this is an uncomfortable conversation. 50% of women say they would never date a man shorter than them. I think that's bullshit. I think it's more like 80%. I think women instinctively
R.I.P. for the short kings, gentlemen. R.I.P.
Jesus.
want a dude they feel that could physically protect them. And the problem is, or the issue is, and it's both a wonderful thing, but something that's created knock-on effects in mating, is that women metaphorically are getting taller every year, and men appear to give
Okay,
you...
see how she's liking what he's saying? See how this is doing well with the audience and the women are nodding? Okay? But he's not really addressing the root of the problem, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Let's keep going because it gets worse. Go ahead.
getting shorter. I'm saying metaphorically. And the divorce rates have skyrocketed, and 70% of divorce filings are from women. And it's because, and it's actually for some good reasons, women no longer feel like they're economically indentured servants. They have their own game, and their ascent economically has not been matched by men's ascent emotionally and logistically. So women wake up and say, okay, I'm making more money than you. You're not pulling your weight at home, and you're kind of not there for me. You're not really noticing me. And so a lot of women are doing the math and exiting the relationship. What I would say is, what you're feeling, quite frankly, I think is what a lot of women are feeling. And a lot of women say there are no good men to date, or there are no men to date. No, there just aren't that many men they'd want to date. And so where I try to go to solutions is, how do we lift up young people such that they're all, or more of them, are economically viable, which I think will, on the margin, lift up or disproportionately impact young men. But just the fact that you said you're self-conscious or aware enough to pour that energy into really productive things.
Zoom in. This is really important. This is really important, guys. I know this is dragging. But just trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. Go ahead.
means you're going to be fine. I don't think romantic love is the be-all, end-all for everybody. It's really rewarding, but I think you can find what I'll call that sort of purpose, relational love in a lot of different areas. And the fact that you're even thinking about how you channel that energy into stuff that's more productive, you're the role model for young men right now. Not everyone's going to find romantic love right away. It's going to happen. It's going to take longer. But how do you transfer it into more productive means that make you a better person, a better citizen, a better sister?
His advice is give up on love and focus on your career. And young men should be more like you. Let's see.
Oh my god.
Wow.
By the way, this guy is called by the media a toxic misogynist. To be clear, this is what I'm saying, bro. You cannot appease these people. Anyway, we'll get into this. We'll get into the rant in a bit. Let's let him finish because I think he has more to say. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Better daughter. So, anyways, this is a long-winded way of saying, right on. You're being a productive human. Sweetie. You're going to be happy regardless if you find that or not. And I just wish more.
You're going to be happy whether you find a man or not. That's what he said to her. That was the reason you're not able to date is because you're too perfect and the boys are intimidated by you.
You know what he sounds
That's
like?
what he's saying.
You know what he sounds like? You know
sounds like a cuck.
when people go to couples therapy and
Yes, bro.
the person's just not doing any therapy, just confirming whatever the woman says. That's what he's doing.
This shit makes me furious. Anyway, go ahead.
Men would take your lead and say, all right, maybe things aren't working out for me romantically. I'm going to continue to work on myself.
Man.
I'm going to
That's
pour
right,
that
man.
energy into other
you should
relationships.
take your lead from this 27-year-old fat girl. That's
So
what you
what-
should
what
take your lead
exactly
from.
has she-
This is
what
what men should be
exactly-
more like this fat girl, this leader of this gang of homely mids. Go ahead.
So what exactly has she done besides have a few like photo opportunities and some footage to put on Instagram? Anything?
right.
The
Yeah.
right advice. The chick needs to lower her standards by a ton.
No,
Metric ton.
she's
Right.
definitely she's definitely one of those girls who's like, oh, he's got to be 6'5" and make 6 figures a year.
Like,
Yeah, that's what Brandon
I don't know if you're going to
did.
lead into
That's what he
this
said
deal,
at the
but
very beginning.
Again, because we're going to take this off the screen because now we're in discussion mode because this is where I wanted to be. But the point is,
That guy looks like who the cuck chair was made for.
yes, this is what I'm saying. Okay, so Scott Galloway is still like when he's mentioned in the mainstream media, it's always in a. They're like, they put him. They're kind of doing the same thing when they wanted to discredit Jordan Peterson. They would say manosphere intellectuals like Jordan, like Joe Rogan, Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, Myron Gaines,
Two of these
David
things are
Duke.
not like the others.
Like they just throw him in with people that he's not similar to at all, and in fact does not like or get along with, and they would lump them all in together.
Well, they do the
as
same
a
thing
means
for
of discrediting him.
Andrew Wilson was talking about this the other day, where
Yeah.
basically they have a caricature what the toxic masculinity is, so
Yes.
then they can just lump anyone that
Exactly. And that guy that we all just reacted so badly to, right? That guy who goes out of his way to kiss the ass of the liberal social order, that operates from almost all of his presuppositions are consistent with feminism. He operates from feminist presuppositions, and he's trying to get people to care about the problems of men. They still call him a toxic misogynist. They still call him like an evil manosphere creator. They still call him that. All the regular things that they use. So there's no point. My point is there's no point. There's no point in trying to placate these people. There's no point because look how he bends over to, kiss the ass of the ultimate sacred cow of wokeness, the fat white woman. That's the ultimate sacred cow. That's who you must appease in this culture, is the sensibilities of fat white women who think that the men just aren't good enough. Right? Like that's like quintessentially what's wrong with the culture right now. And he's refusing to be honest about it because he won't be honest about what the issues are. You're not being honest about what the issues are. You cannot ever possibly offer a solution to the problem. His solution to her was just like try to invest in your other relationships. It ain't happening, sweetheart, but that's okay. You don't need a man to be happy. That's his advice to her.
Just focus on yourself, queen.
Just focus on yourself, queen,
Yeah.
and the men should be more like you. The men should be following your lead. That is such a preposterous nonsense statement. And by the way, this is supposed to be the guy. He wants to offer a version of aspirational masculinity. That's one of his main talking points. Is he wants to
That's
offer
why he was on
aspirational
Oprah.
masculinity.
To
And what
be
he's
like,
saying is,
be like women.
like, it's
That's
being
not
more.
aspirational.
This is infuriating. This is insane. This is like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. And that guy is still considered to be toxic masculinity, by the way. Just so you know, like, there's nothing you can do. They just hate men.
We all
They
know that
just
the leftists
hate
eat
men.
their own, dude. I mean, that's what they do.
It's
Well, I don't understand, because this woman has probably achieved everything that she has been told to go achieve, and I guarantee you that was input in her, that was like downloaded in her consciousness in college somewhere. So why maybe the better question for her would be, well, why do you want to date? What are you actually looking for? Because
No, that's a good
guarantee you,
question.
Once she starts answering, it's gonna be a lot of traditional masculine stuff. It's either going to be a lot of traditionally masculine stuff more than she realizes, or it's going to be he follows my lead. He follows my lead. He basically is my footstool.
Well, I think a lot of, like, that's the thing, is I think a lot of what I hear the most when I talk to women is the main complaint I hear is that, like, men are not men anymore. And they rarely
browbeaten to stop.
And they rarely mean money when they say that. What they're usually talking about is, like, men are not honoring. Well, one thing I hear a lot is that, like, men are not honoring their traditional responsibilities, and that can mean all sorts of things. It can mean, like, not opening doors. It can mean not standing up so that women can sit down on the subway. It can mean not helping them carry
Not
stuff.
shoving their heads up my ass.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Okay, and so the way that I've addressed that before, I have videos for this somewhere. Hold on, give me a second. There's a bunch of women complaining about this, and what I have said to them is it's a breakdown in reciprocity. Because it used to be that when men did those things for women, they got gratitude and respect in return. And now I think men are a lot more used to kind of getting just kind of like spit on and talked down to. And like they remember, Scott Galloway is supposed to be an advocate for men. And that's how he talks about us. Right? He's on our side, guys.
No, he's not.
He's on our side.
If he's on Oprah, he is not on our side.
He's doing a cucking ritual on Oprah, and he's on our side.
He's on his own side.
Don't buy this shit.
He will literally say and do anything just to appease these fucking weirdos so they don't eat him alive. That's all that was.
And I don't understand, like, it's like you cannot, I don't think there's any room within the leftist, like, mainstream order for, like, sincere advocacy on behalf of men's issues, regardless of how, like, legitimate the complaint may be. The fact that men are finally doing badly enough that Oprah has to notice is significant, right? That's significant. That means we're probably behind the eight ball pretty significantly. And by the way, this is being framed as.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The last thing I'll say on this is it's being framed in this way that men are in trouble, and that's bad because who are women gonna have sex with? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it's bad. It's like, who are women? Who's going to pay for all of women's stuff if men aren't doing well? Yeah. That's how the problem is being framed. There's no concern for men as for their own sake or because, hey, our fellow humans are in trouble. It's like, Jesus, who is going to be the fucking slave class if we run out of men? God damn it.
Who's going to keep our water running? Who's going to keep our power on? Who are going to climb the lines to repair broken power lines during a snowstorm?
The entire thing is, yeah, go ahead.
Also, it's not just men who are getting shit on for trying to advocate for other men. It just basically ignored. There are so many women who do the exact same thing, who every single time they release a video, they are called pick-me's. And they are called, why do you hate women so much? Why do you never talk about, why do you always pick on women so much? The women even attack the other women who are trying to tell the women at fault, hey, you're fucking up. Men are actually hurting here. Men are actually falling behind in all these ways. You are part of the problem. Here's how to fix it. They'll still call those men's rights advocate pick-me's. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're to the left of Joseph Stalin. It doesn't matter. If you are not a part of the sisterhood, they immediately hate you.
They did that recently for the VTuber our son Theo about Scooch-Chan.
Nah.
They do it for everybody.
Well,
in fact, it's even worse for a woman. They hate the woman more for daring to break rank.
yeah, it's bad. Well, because it's like
this.
It's okay. So this is an example of there's videos like this all over the internet. And this is not to pick on this woman in particular, but this is something that I'm hearing a lot from women. Go ahead.
I just had 5 grown-ass men walk by, grown-ass, able-bodied men walk by as I struggle to like carry all of my shit and help this poor mother with 3 children carry her stroller down the stairs. They just looked and kept walking. I'm literally like dropping my umbrella and everything. They just keep on walking.
Now I know what you guys are thinking. Did
Ask
she
the
ask
bear
for
for
help? Did she ask for?
Well, okay, I can
She can
tell
ask the
she's
bear.
in New York or something. It looks like she's in
Yeah.
a subway.
Yeah.
How many people who merely helped somebody in New York subways and went to jail for it? What was the David dude or whatever?
Yeah.
Or
It's like-
or how many men have stopped to do exactly what she's asking for and then have gotten absolutely just verbally blasted on the internet for
That's
just
okay.
crying out
That's
loud.
okay. That's something.
There's actually worse circumstance here. A guy in LA literally saved a woman's life. She was diddling about on her phone, almost walked right into a fucking bus. He pulls her back and she sues him. She prosecutes him for unwanted physical contact. And because California's a shithole, they 100% listened to her and were bringing charge against him for saving her life.
And
Men
I'm not
notice that shit. We take that may a lot of this stuff is on the internet, indeed, but a lot more men are on the internet than what we might think. We see that shit and we take it to heart. Next time, that because we immediately we're able to put ourselves and fuck the whole argument that men can't empathize. We can 100% empathize. We can put ourselves in other people's shoes much more easily than women can, because all we have to do is look at situations like that and think that could be me. That's probably me. My instincts for bravery, my instincts for service, self-sacrifice to try to help someone less fortunate than I am is going to get rewarded by a slap in the face in the government and with women all over the place. And not only are the women going to dogpile on me, the simps are going to pile on me too. It's almost not worth it anymore.
Okay, hold on. I want to circle back to something Nate said. So one of the things that I've noticed this a lot is this ties into some other things too, where one of the reasons you guys don't want to deal with women in your generation is because you're concerned that you're going to get filmed and put on social media. Is that like I always see people getting blasted on social media, but I don't know anybody personally that it's necessarily happened to. I've seen people get blasted on Facebook for sure. I have seen that.
I've seen a lot of videos like that on Facebook. And
yeah.
And the thing is, I'm not saying that her feelings are not valid, because look, I mean, single mother, 3 kids, you're trying to do a bunch of shit on your own. I mean, I can imagine that's a lot, but like I said, you have an entire society of women who have done nothing but tell men they're horrible pests when they do try to step up to the plate and try to help women out. After a while, men are going to get tired of being called pests and being told that they're not wanted, and they're just not going to do anything.
Yeah,
for you
well,
anymore.
I noticed that. That's what I'm kind of saying is like, I think women I see videos like that all the time. There's a bunch of them where it's like, why aren't men doing whatever, right?
I mean,
And
for me, I'm not as concerned about that personally, because I have no job to get fired from.
Like friend of the channel, not having a job.
Now, personally, if this woman was, in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina, and she needed help and she asked for help, I would probably stop and try to help.
Yeah, that's the thing. I probably would too.
But I know a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of videos where people have been put on blast and have just been absolutely scrutinized because they try to do the right thing. And then afterwards they're like, well, I was just trying to do the right thing. And this seemed like the right thing to do. What's the fucking problem? Oh, it's because I'm a male. That's the
Do you think
problem.
that's
Well,
Yeah,
also
well,
it's funny. It's
so-
funny. Women are getting what they wanted because how many years? I mean, what's been a decade since Me Too, since 2016, all that shit came about. That was just a power play. We all know that was all fake. But how many times were we told to listen to women, take women seriously, and then we do. We
No,
hear
I
what they're
noticed that.
saying. They say something. We take
I
them
have a video for
seriously,
this.
and then they wonder why we did.
I have a video for this. Hold on. Keep
do.
talking amongst yourselves. I have a video for this. So one
Well,
of the
I did want to touch on what Kayla was saying. So Kayla said
yeah,
she
what did Kayla
said
say?
she was out with 3 kids. So I mean, I don't remember if she said how old her kids are, but maybe each kid could have carried something. I don't know. But I was looking at it more like, okay, I'm assuming she's in New York or Chicago. Look like a subway or something.
Yeah, some places with big subway
Yeah.
system.
I just know like these major leftist cities that like problems do happen or whatever. So like where I'm at, I help people all the time. Like I'll see an old lady, she's trying to pick up a bag of cat food. I was like, oh, let me grab that for you or whatever. No problem at all. But you're like these bigger cities where you're more around like someone who's going to trip over the smallest thing, kind gesture, you might just more inclined to just leave them alone and not do anything.
Yeah, I do think social norms have broken down a lot. And I say this as a big advocate of upholding social norms. Like, I still actually think stopping and helping people is a good thing. But in general, I have noticed people complaining that, women in particular complaining that men are helping less. And I think for them, it's coming out of nowhere. And like all the other thing too is like men not approaching women anymore. And I think, so you guys
Yeah,
made the
they hit
point
them
that
like a
it's-
ton of bricks.
Right. There's like, well, it's like, and a lot of women are like, why is this happening? Like, they actually don't know. That's, I think, harder for me to get my head around. But then when you see videos like Scott Galloway talking, you saw he had an opportunity to tell that woman the truth. Right? He had an opportunity and he chose not to. He chose to be like, not only are you doing nothing wrong, you are in fact perfect. And in fact, men should be more like you, slay
Yeah,
queen.
he
And
he
then
could-
she sat down. That was it. Like, he
Yeah.
had an opportunity. You got to remember when you're dealing with women and you're like, why don't you understand how things work? You got to remember every single time someone is talking to her about reality, they're using baby talk. They're like sugarcoating it. There are very few women now are lucky enough to have a man around them who's willing to tell them the truth. A lot of women are just being lied to 100% of the time they're awake. And some of them listen to manifestation affirmations in their sleep, so they're being lied to in their sleep as well.
Well, I also don't know this guy's content, but I have seen some people that be like the quote unquote red pill guys where they'll be invited to go talk at something, and what they'll do sometimes I notice is they start trying to play the middle all of a sudden and like agreeing with the other side of what they normally talk against, just so they don't be perceived as the worst of the kind that the other side is looking at or whatever.
Yeah. That's
exactly. Well, the other thing too is he's on Oprah, so he can't be too based. There's a limit to how based Scott Galloway can be on Oprah because of the platform. Like, Oprah's not gonna.
She would blacklist him and probably have
that show exists to uphold that. Well, think about this. That show exists to uphold mainstream narratives and make women nod and smile. That's their whole audience. So he can't, be too based on there.
You can't convince me that woman is not the Antichrist. I'm sorry.
Maybe.
Well, what's so funny is that this isn't a new shtick for Oprah. She's never had any kids. She and her partner, they've been together for 20 years and they've never gotten married. And like there was a Mad TV sketch where he was basically her slave and she was like tossing him dollar bills to go away. It was hilarious. But like, how accurate is it? But she's been lecturing people on parenthood for ages, and she's never ever had a
interesting.
kid.
I never thought of that. That's interesting. And
Yeah, way back in the 90s, she's inviting parenting people on here, and she's been lecturing people on how to run their lives. Like, woman, you have not lived a normal life for decades, for probably about half a century. Sit the fuck down.
I think I remember Bill.
Does
Burr
Oprah even have kids?
I think I remember
Nope,
Bill
doesn't.
Burr
Never has.
talking about that one time. He was like, "Yeah, I was watching Oprah, and there was a woman on there."
I'm just surprised Oprah still has
she
a show on.
and she said something along the lines of, "She does the hardest job in the world. She's a mother."
I remember that. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna play a video real quick that kind of addresses one of the problems, because there's there's a lot of consequences downstream of this like telling men to sit down, shut the fuck up, get out of the way, let women lead, all this stuff, which by the way is what Scott Galloway is parroting. So he's perpetuating the problem while posing as a solution to it, right? Which is why I find what he's doing so sinister. But this video actually, I saw this and I wanted to restate the ideas in it and pretend they were mine, but I got lazy. So we're just going to show you guys the video instead of me pretending I said it. This puts the problem really well. So,
okay. Chris,
like this guy looks like
Chris Williamson, friend of the channel. Very, very handsome guy. I don't like it.
It's the British accent. That's why
I want him to stop being handsome. I don't enjoy it. Okay, that's it. Friend of the channel. Go ahead.
Pushy with women. The problem is that when you tell men don't be pushy with women, the guys who really need to feel a little bit more confident around women take that to heart. And the guys that were blowing through boundaries already just disregard it. You have advice hyper responders, right? You have the people whose fears are confirmed by headlines and worries. And they're the ones who probably could have done with, no, dude, you can go and say hello to her. Like, she'd really love to hear from you. But he's heard, do not be pushy with women, and thought, I knew I was too much. I knew that women didn't want to hear from me. Meanwhile, the guys who were coercive, who were blowing through boundaries already, they disregard the warnings and the concern. The goal of Me Too, from a relational standpoint, and I do think it was important to call powerful men to account for using position and coerciveness.
But he has to pay lip service to the liberal social order, because remember, the liberal status quo allowed him to become a millionaire. So he has to pay a little bit of lip service to it, because he does believe that the system is not wholly corrupt and rotted. But also, he doesn't live he lives in the United States, but he's not from here. So keep that in mind. Go ahead.
And incentive in a way that was not virtuous in order to get sexual access.
Oh, I agree completely.
The goal of Me Too was to sanitize the toxic elements of male behavior, and instead it ended up sterilizing most of them. Do not be pushy.
There we go. So that was that I think summarizes the issue really, really effectively.
That's the correct conclusion to draw, and it definitely had the opposite effect. It created an entire society of men who are now afraid of women, because we've been afraid of, not afraid, but like we've been intimidated by by the newfound power that women have been abusing. Because it's not that women have been denied powers, that they've have it now.
And let's keep in mind. So it's helpful to think in terms of generations. So Me Too was mostly pushed by women who were Gen X and millennial who were responding to something. And now downstream of that, there's the women who are not getting approached were not the same women who were pushing for Me Too 10 years ago. Right?
Well, let's also point out where it began is in Hollywood. Hollywood was the one that pushed that like crazy, and it bled downward. And granted, there are quite a few women who may have suffered the same kind of treatment. However, Me Too in Hollywood was entirely different, because there may have been a few people who were raped, but for the most part, the Weinsteins of the world, the producers of the world, that was a completely consensual relationship. Like, I'm exchanging like casting and directing jobs for sexual favors, and women willfully participated in it. They knew it. They'd done this for decades, and they kept doing it.
Too.
Whereas further on down the line, for most regular people are not in that position. So it's like there's two completely different worlds that they inhabited, but for some reason the lower class people were like, oh yes, the people in the higher class people, we have the same problem. No, you don't.
Whoa, hey, friend of the channel, Society Review stopping in. What's up, buddy? Have you been on Touch Grass before? Have I had you in?
Not recently. I don't think.
Not for a while, man.
For a while, yeah.
Not for a while, man. Happy to see you.
What's up, because buddy? I hate you, just because I just haven't generally been on any shows for a little bit. So how you doing?
Yeah. What's up, buddy?
Let me get controversial here. This is where I say let's get because there's two ways that I kind of look at this whole thing. One, and I'm listening to you guys as I'm setting up here, and first of all, there's no accountability in any of these instances here, because the thing that these people are struggling to accept is that Me Too and the whole Me Too movement is actually working exactly the way it was intended 10 years ago. They think that, oh no, it started off good and somehow it went off the wire. No, this is working exactly the way it was intended, which was to separate men and women on the basis of gender. And now we're seeing the ramifications of that, right? And we talked about this whole thing started off in Hollywood. The whole thing started off, people forget about this, the whole Me Too thing. They were trying to essentially dig dirt on Donald Trump when he was running back in 2017 through 2016, when he was going president the first time around. In the event of them trying to get dirt on Donald Trump, they inadvertently got dirt on Harvey Weinstein, which blew open the whole thing of Harvey Weinstein sleeping with women and assaulting women, which everyone knew about. I tell people this all the time. I remember this little show called Entourage that was on HBO like a couple of decades ago.
Good show.
In the show Entourage, they had a caricature of Harvey Weinstein in the show acting the exact way everyone in Hollywood knew that he acted. So there was a number of episodes where like the group was talking with a guy who was supposed to be Harvey Weinstein. He was basically a sociopath, a psychopath. He would yell at people, threaten people, all this other stuff. Now, all of a sudden, 10 years later, when the things come out to public light, all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, I never knew that he was doing all these things behind closed doors. It's like, you knew. The problem is that the public didn't know. When the public figured out what was going on, then they freaked out. And it was like, well, we have to get on top of this and pretend like we're the heroes of this whole story. And that's how the whole Me Too movement kind of shifted. But it all started off with this thing of Donald Trump, right? So that's kind of when I hear people talk about, oh, it started off good. And then it's like, no, it didn't. You guys are trying to cover your own ass and it blew up in your face. That's how we got into this position.
Like if Hillary Clinton had won in 2016, Me Too would never have fucking happened.
No, not at all. But let's go back even further than this, because over the course of the last couple of weeks on the Bible Lens, which is my show I do on Sunday, I've been talking about the sins of Jezebel. And Jezebel is just basically your generic, evil, non-accountability taking woman that exists in 2025, right? Here's something that I've noticed for a while as well, is that we are absolutely terrified as a society of holding women accountable for their actions in any way, shape, or form whatsoever, right? And this is a big problem and a big point of how we got here. But let's go back even further here. Lila Rose, who is this Catholic, she's basically known for like doing a lot of like the pro-life stuff, being like anti-abortion, which is fine. I'm not objecting to any of that at all. But she seems to have this very twisted view about how marriages should work. She's essentially endorsing this idea that married men should essentially be eunuchs and not accept sex from their wives. Basically, even going as far to say that men don't need sex, primarily married men. And I'm thinking to myself, that's problematic. That's not going to be a cause for divorce and anger and resentment in the near future. That's besides the point. She's one of these women who, you know, has this mindset that, oh, well, first wave feminism was good. It was the waves that came afterwards that everything went all haywire. And again, I say, no, it wasn't. And here's how I can prove it. Lila, as a person, claims to represent, she's against abortion, she's against feminism, she's against LGBTQ, this and that, and all these other things. And all of these things that her political ideology is wrapped around, she claims to be against. Okay, fine. When you look at where the whole first wave feminism started, it was the let's give women the right to vote, right? That's where the whole thing got started, right? They're going all the way back. When you look at women's voting patterns, primarily in 2025, what do the overwhelming majority of women tend to support as far as their voting powers go? Progressive policies, all the things that women like Lila claim to be against, right? So if you were to say that, well, you know, we can do the thing of telling people that abortion is bad and feminism is bad and LGBTQ stuff is bad, we can do that. Or we can essentially rip off the Band-Aid and say, hey, you know what? Maybe this whole 19th Amendment wasn't really as great as a thing as we were all led to believe. Do you think someone like Lila would ever accept that position? The answer is no, she would never accept that, because she would never accept the idea of taking away women's right to vote. So her entire ideology politically is based on fighting against the things that can very easily be solved if you had taken away the 19th Amendment, because you've all seen the charts, Real Kill Politics, CNN, Fox News, they've all done charts similar to this saying that, hey, here's what the map of the United States will look like if only women voted. And I think there's like maybe 3 states in the entire United States of America that would actually be red if only women voted, right? It would be an absolute disaster. Yet if you were to flip that around and say, here's what the map looked like if only men voted, I think like mostly it's like Minnesota and that's it. As far as like what the country would look like, right? So
in other words, the last election, boom.
So then you come to the conclusion, okay, what exactly has given women the right to vote actually done as a net positive for our society? And the answer is mostly nothing, right? However, no one is going to want to admit that. So we're all essentially working on band-aids to the problem and not addressing the actual problem. And this is essentially what we're dealing with in society as a whole. We're all trying to fix societal problems without actually solving the cause of our societal problem. So essentially, we're all just slapping band-aids, and next thing you know, there's a new problem. We'll slap a band-aid on that. New problem, slap a band-aid on that. And all this has done is put us in a position where we have just been in a societal free fall for about a century now. And no one wants to admit how we got to this point. Some people think that, oh, it only started in the 90s and then things got bad. And people say, oh, it was the 60s and then things got bad. Let's go even further back to that. Let's go all the way to what really started this. And no one wants to go to the origin of it because the origin of the problem makes people uncomfortable and they don't want to acknowledge that problem. And which is why we're in this situation to begin with. We don't want to acknowledge who's actually causing the problems in a lot of these instances because it makes people uncomfortable to come to that conclusion. And here we are.
Bro, he had stuff to get off his chest. Society Reviews, everybody. Make sure to go follow his channel. He has a bunch of different live streams as well. He's a very, very cool guy. Make sure to.
So anyway, we were talking about The View. So
that's right. But this is right. To put a fine point on what he's saying. Like the real problem, I think the reason like Scott Galloway makes me so much more angry than almost any other public intellectual right now because of his refusal to actually talk about what the problem is. He's identified all of the symptoms of the problem, but he's absolutely
comes off as a spineless coward.
Right, because he's like he acts and looks like macho and he looks super tough and he has a lot of money, so it's almost like controlled opposition. Like I'm almost insulted. It's like a Democrat strategist thought, what would men find aspirational and interesting, but we could still use to brainwash them into cucking themselves to their feminist overlords. And then they made it in a laboratory and then they trotted it out and it was Scott Galloway. It's like, what? Do you like this? Do you like this? Can this be your aspirational masculine figure? And it's like, no, I don't like this.
Well, but also, but it's kind of funny because you mentioned Ben being controlled opposition, pretty much made in a lab. You think that shit doesn't happen? It 100% happens. I would say Nick Fuentes is one of them. Not to go off a rabbit trail there, but you look at his specific age actually strikes me too, because he's not old enough to be a grandpa, but not young enough to be your dad. So he's kind of rides that line. So he's able to appeal. So he reminds women of their dads because he's kind of the soft spoken, it seems, and I'm more familiar with him now. I remember a lot of his stuff. A little bit more soft spoken, appeals to their ego a little bit more, but also because he's an older man, and men naturally look up to older men as examples. So he does seem to be made in a lab, but he's not so old that he's out of touch. But he's young, he's young enough to still appeal to people, maybe like that woman in the video. But he's also old enough for men to take him seriously. It's very interesting. It's kind of genius when you think about it. But yeah, 100% think he's controlled opposition.
Yeah, he's definitely scratching a very particular itch with his. I have another video of him actually that I want to show now that I'm thinking about it, because it's like straight the points now that you're kind of analyzing it, it's making me kind of rethink one of these other videos that I was going to show.
Well, I'm also thinking his age contributes to this as well. While you're bringing that up, his age contributes to that as well, because he's not a threat. He's not a threat to anyone's masculinity. Someone younger like Andrew Wilson probably is, because he's a lot more youthful exuberance. He's got a bigger mouth on him, so which I love. He just does not give a shit. This guy seems like he does care, and so he's not a threat to anybody.
Yeah, so let's go ahead. This is another one from when he was on Chris Williamson's podcast. So this is a men's podcast dissecting other men's podcasts. That's what at some point, at some level, this does become gay, but it's not right now. Not right now. Right, we're doing now is not gay. Go ahead.
And the media have basically told women, one strike and you're out as a man. Celebrates, you are a beautiful independent.
Okay, look at his hunched posture and his like generally weaselly delivery. Go ahead.
woman, you don't need that man. Walk right out on him. Spoiler alert, we're deeply flawed. Very few of us are going to get it right. We're going to forget to open your door. We're going to maybe forget to order you the Uber.
By the way, this man is a millionaire many, many, many times over. He's generated generational wealth for his family. He has changed the direction of his family tree forever. And he still has to apologize to his wife for being a goofball. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Like, well, no, we're just goofy. This is your aspirational masculine figure. And this is how he's like preemptively apologizing to sorry women, I'm a goof. What? Like,
And there's a bigger problem here.
Well, it's
too,
also not.
because-
Sorry.
Go ahead,
Sorry,
society.
you have a lot of single men, and here's the thing: people are actually like, "Why aren't we not going after women?" A lot of single men have been looking at not just the dating scene, but looking at the marriage scene. They're seeing guys who are married, who have kids, who have the wife, have everything that seemingly they would want, right? And they're starting to realize just how manipulated and controlled and how miserable these men are. And when you're seeing a person who seemingly has everything that you want, and you're seeing that their happiness is basically not changed in any iota whatsoever. And the only difference is with this person, this individual, if for whatever reason his wife were to leave him or the kids, whatever the case may be, his happiness is going to severely decline based on all the liabilities now he has associated on that failed marriage. So guys are looking at this and saying, wait, this is what I have to do in order to have this perfect, happy marriage. Then if things go wrong, it's going to essentially what's the best way to describe it here? My entire life could potentially fall apart as a result of this decision. Then why exactly am I making this decision? And like, what it actually is there in it for me? Because essentially you're telling me is that, yeah, I'm unhappy now, but I'm even more unhappy if I get into a bad marriage with a bad woman.
Yeah,
That's
well,
exactly
it's
right.
funny, Theo. You touched on it very brilliantly, because this is something that I have seen just in my own life, all across all of my upbringing, whether it was in school, church, college, everywhere, advertising. I was inundated with this constant stream, and I think most of us were growing up. This constant stream, especially in the church, of women are the prize, and men are just the big old screw ups. How many times have men referred to their wives as their better half? Oh, she's the best, and I'm an idiot. I forget everything. She remembers everything. She's the leader. She's basically saying she leads my life, and I do nothing for her except just exist.
Liz, let me tell you something.
I've
Go
lived
ahead.
with that for years, man.
Well, let me tell you something. So I do stand-up comedy, right? So a lot of times out here, I'm the host for somebody who's like more famous than me. So I'm just like warming up the crowd. So you'll talk to them kind of like, we got birthdays, anniversaries, who's married, how long you've been married. And I always ask people what's the secret to staying married for a long time. Most popular answer, alcohol. The second most popular answer, the husband saying, I do whatever she tells me to, or some variation of that. This is like widely accepted as good, good common sense relationship advice. And I gotta tell you, I think it makes everyone involved miserable. I don't even think women want that. I think women like men who are like,
I'll take it a step further. Have you seen the recent TikTok social media videos of these women talking about how their husbands are essentially working like 8 to 10 hours a day, doing like hard labor and whatnot? Then he comes home and he's the one that's taking care of the kids and cleaning up the house and cooking and all this. And she's sitting there bragging about, oh, what a wonderful husband I have. He does absolutely everything for me while I do virtually nothing. And this is essentially praised as, oh yeah, guys, you want marriage to work. This is exactly what you're gonna do. Like, really?
You know what's crazy?
You're spinning this as a positive.
Okay, like let me run this by you. So I don't have videos on this, but like one thing that we've seen is I hear so much about the mental load and the unpaid emotional labor.
Bullshit.
Meanwhile, the data on
bullshit.
millennial relationships suggests that millennial men spend more time on household chores than any of their ancestors, and they spend more time on childcare than any of their ancestors. And yet they're or at least since we've been measuring these things since the middle of the 20th century or whatever. So they're doing more household chores than any previous generation of men. They're spending more time on childcare than any previous generation of men, and they're getting bitched at for not contributing more than any previous What is happening? Like this can't cannot continue.
Answer that.
Go ahead.
Okay, I think the greatest example of this, if you look at people who work in the video game industry, right? So
Yeah.
if you, I think because even right now, a lot of society is hiring. They're forcing the numbers of the male to female ratio in certain jobs. So like if the famous picture that we usually see is from Bungie, where if you look or Blizzard, like back in the day, it was full of dude bros all working together to make whatever games. Then if you look at the same studio now, like okay, the original picture, there'll probably be like maybe 3 women out of like 100 dudes all working at the studio.
Yeah. You
look at the pictures now, it's like over 100 and something women, and then there's probably like 10 dudes in the background. And so I think the other problem is why the relationships aren't working the way they are is men aren't able to provide like they normally do, because now since there's these force, hey, well, we don't think there's enough women in this industry, so let's force the numbers there, that displaces actually qualified man for the same job. And and then and then we see it, a lot of the modern video games just suck, a lot of modern comics at the major studios just up and suck, and the storytelling and everything just goes down with it. So I think that's probably with it is you got a guy who's like, hey, I don't have a regular job like I want to have, and I can't provide, so they might as well just stay single or whatever, because they can't raise don't have the money to raise a family, start housing and all the other shit.
That's true. I think, well, one of the things too is like dating is actually I have a video for this too. Hold on, let's finish this, and then I want to get, because I have a video for that I want to show. Let's finish up on Scott Galloway, and then I want to get into this idea of like dating actually costs money for men to do. And
it's so expensive.
that I don't think women have figured out yet that they can't have all the degrees and all the jobs, all the high paying jobs and all the money, and also have husbands that make more money than them. I don't know if they understand that they can't, like, just math wise, they can't have all the things and also have the men have enough things to take them out.
You can when you throw accountability out of the window.
You can't. I know. It's like you can have it if you could just believe. You can manifest it. It's like, it's so crazy. Like I do crowd work. So I talk to women. I have a video in my crowd work show. By the way, sub to my Patreon. Check out my crowd work show. I have a video of this. I'm actually talking to I'm talking to this woman in the front row, and she's telling me about how she has all these different guys on her roster, and she's looking for one guy that can do everything. And I was like, that doesn't exist. And she's like, I don't get, and also she wanted a guy who would just read her mind. Like she didn't, and I was like, do you understand? She understand why that's frustrating for men? And she's like, yes, but I don't care.
I mean,
and that's really what it is.
The simple fact that we've normalized women having rosters is also part of the problem.
By the way, for the record, women, you do not have a roster. You're just on a lot of guys' rosters. That's what's happening there. Like you're not in control of the rotation. That's the issue.
You're just a whore.
You don't. Well, no, because you don't have is the guys that every guy on your roster. They're not all waiting around for their turn with you. Some of them are, but a lot of those guys have a bunch of women in rotation. So you're it's not. It's like a disgusting.
I'll settle down with him on my time, because that always works, right?
No, yeah, it's just it's just a disgusting way for humans to interact. It's just like a stupid, vulgar, debasing ritual to participate in.
We'll finish the video, because that is going to lead to another point that's kind of an elephant in the room problem no one's really addressing. But let's get here.
Let's talk this
the
out.
basic zeitgeist of online is like constantly telling women to exit the relationship.
That's true.
Everything is a red flag.
That's true.
Media's telling men, don't be that guy, don't be a creep, come over here, online gaming and porn. And with women, you're a queen and you deserve better. Yeah.
Quote from The Guardian, where young women are encouraged.
Okay, this is a lot. Anyway, he kind of talks about how this is a supply and demand issue, basically, where it's like, because actually, let's let him talk. I do want him to finish this.
To seek out positive role models for their own good. Young men are frequently encouraged to seek out positive role models so that they treat women better.
And literally, this is what Scott Galloway is. Right.
Yeah.
But women are asked to seek out role models for their own good. Men are asked to seek out role models so that they can treat women better. And that's literally, you have the calls coming from inside the house, Chris. He's sitting across from you. He's the problem. Go ahead.
This asymmetry between women are able to look after women and men also should look after women in this way. There's a reason I think it makes sense, at least from a supply and demand perspective, about why it is that women have said, well, his red flag culture, he doesn't meet the criteria, because the likelihood is that there will be a line of available men coming in after. Talking about men's icks for women almost doesn't work, because implied in you have an ick is you also have options. Whereas realistically, it's like, hey, dude, fucking be grateful with what you've got, because there might not be.
Because like from a supply and demand perspective, because social media and dating apps have tilted the imbalance in options is significant between an average guy and an average woman. She just has so many more romantic options that it's hard to have leverage unless as a man you also have significant options. And then it becomes like stupid easy, but to the point of like it's gross. That's the other problem. It's either women either treat you like in a very entitled, dismissive way, as if they outrank you socially, as if they're from a superior social class. They kind of turn your nose up at you, or they make things like way too easy, and it's just like, oh well, that's gross. I don't. Don't send me that. You know what I mean? It's.
Yeah. I'm also sharing my screen real quick too.
Okay, hold on. Let's pull up Vagabond's screen real quick. So I want to see what he's chewing on here. Which one? This one?
Yeah,
is
those
this
are
the
the same. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Ubisoft. So look at 27. You got like one woman out of the whole, well, two women out of like the whole studio of men, and look at 2024. And
oh man,
so that's
Why
what
do you
I'm
think
talking
Ubisoft
about too.
is about to be sold?
Yeah, well, certain industries where it's a predominantly male industry, hobby or whatever, they're forcing the numbers to be where it's morely women. And from my perspective, go ahead. Oh, okay. What I was just saying is like, men aren't making as much as they normally would to be as a provider, because with the job market, it's not just this. There's other factors. There's stuff, but like this is like one of the factors is where, like say all these guys are normally making money in this industry, that they're not there, and for them to be like a provider per se, they can't do that. So what they're gonna like, how you're gonna take on a wife if you can't bring home the bacon, pretty much.
No, this is a good point, and it's not just the video game industry that this has happened to. Law is becoming majority female, medicine is becoming majority female, veterinary medicine is becoming majority female. It's happening to all these different industries as they continue to diversify, to avoid potential discrimination lawsuits in the future. What happens is the more women get in there, the more feminine the workplace becomes, the more unpalatable it is for men, especially, pushy, ambitious, creative, hard charging men. It just becomes unpalatable to be there, and they leave. And so these industries just kind of get more and more and more and more taken over, and they shift. This was the great feminization. We've been talking about that the past couple weeks on the show. Shout out to Helen Andrews, friend of the channel, autistic queen. We love an autistic queen who tells it like it is and sees things. She would be part of the 4%, I believe, if she listened to the show. Okay, let's pull up. I got another. Where did my screen go? I got one more. So I got two I want to show about why men are less reluctant. So I have a thesis. It's something I talk about a lot on the show. Porn and video games got better and women got worse. That's what happened. And I think that is really driving down this lack of engagement. And I've got a couple of examples. We're going to do the women getting worse for one, and then I'm going to show you where sex robots are at. Because that's a big, that is coming right around the corner. Like, here's the thing. You and me, Strider, we're cooked. Nate is going to be fine. Because coming right around the corner, he's going to have a robot waifu. Oh, my God.
You know what's fucked up? I could get that robot waifu, and they would bitch at me about it. And I'd be sitting here like, what?
Your AI chat,
so good.
Your AI chatbot girlfriend is eventually going to nag you. That's just the way it is in reality.
And you know what? They would bitch at me about it, and I'd be like, what? I thought this is what you wanted. You wanted me to leave you the fuck alone. I did.
I think this is okay, because here's the thing. It's like, I say this all the time. It's like, don't take women seriously, but don't take them literally. Like, they don't, like, a lot of times, like, when a woman says, leave me alone in an argument or don't talk to me, a lot of times she doesn't really mean that. She wants you to double down and try harder. She just wants it to be dramatic for some reason. Or a lot of times they'll you'll ask a woman, you're like, okay, I can tell you're upset. Can you tell me why? And she's like, guess. It's like, I'll give you $1,000.
Well, here's the problem.
That has happened to me so many fucking times. It's like, just tell me what's wrong.
Right. So what I'm saying is
I'm not going to tell you.
They're doing this at the societal level. That's what I'm saying. All the things they're asking for, they don't really want.
But here's the whole problem. Like, and understand it's just by like the shows that women watch. Like, women are the ones who watch like The Bachelor and Love and Hate New York, whatever the show is on VH1. It's like women are addicted to drama and men aren't. Like, another big part of the divide is that most men value peace while most women value drama, which is why a lot of women look at the, let's say, peaceful guy or the kind of the normal guy as the boring guy, because there's no excitement
and I
that
think
comes in that relationship.
And the only qualifier I'm going to put on there is I think we're having that's a hallmark of emotionally immature women, especially women who are raised on television and social media. I think the reason that attitude is so prevalent is because there's a lot of emotionally immature people running around, and we're seeing the way that manifests in women is addiction to drama, trying to like getting their whole personality downloaded from TikTok, like watching television and be like, anytime you hear it, I'm the main character. Like they see that the kind of like slop coming out of the television that wants them to be.
Now imagine telling those women 24/7 that they're the prize.
Yes, exactly.
I can tell you from experience, just from the past 3 girlfriends I've had, they've all had one thing in common, and that's TikTok. Every single one of them have had TikTok. And
well, you think about it, women make up the majority of the buying population. They also make up the majority of debt holders. So it is economically well, I don't want to say economically, but it is within companies' best interest to market specifically to them, because they know that women are going to buy.
This is like, again, and this is why I'm like not
vicious circle.
I'm not that pissed at women generally, is because I do think that this is downstream of deliberate propaganda to, isolate women and turn them into debt slaves so that they can make money. Like, and it's like
voting blocks.
You see what I'm saying? And it's about like getting them to vote a certain way and getting them to spend money a certain way. And it's just if you can have them again, it's the divide and conquer strategy. Like if you get men and women to have disdain for each other and turn them into separate voting blocks, I mean, that's awesome for you if you're the evil overlords who control us,
And let's be honest, there's a lot of men out there who are not helping the problem at all, because they're essentially reaffirming all of these bad things under this guise that they're actually being allies by doing that.
That's right.
But being sneaky fuckers. That's all they're doing.
Well, an example of that is Twitch. So who's the CEO of Twitch or whatever?
Dan Clancy is the epitome of a sneaky fucker. That guy.
Oh shit! What's going on Twitch?
Okay, so if you're not familiar, Twitch they reward all the just chatting streamers, which predominantly female, which basically show their basically break all the TOS and break all the rules, but that's all his favorite people or whatever, and. Besides Hassan Piker, like they never get in trouble, never get banned. But predominantly it was originally a gaming website. He gets control and makes it pretty much a softcore porn site.
Yeah, Twitch is turned into an advertisement for OnlyFans, pretty much.
Well, it's a Gundam broke this down when he looked at Pokimane. He looked at because Pokimane was trying to be like everything's all toxic and means like, bitch, you're part of the problem. But he broke down her entire career and seeing like, see all of these behaviors that she's showcasing. These are all things that Twitch says they don't like, but because Pokimane does it, because she has a lot of subs, because that's exactly her brand, they look the other way. And if it's a woman breaking all their TOS, they will 100% just look the other way and encourage it further. And that's from the top down. That's Dan Clancy specifically.
Mm-hmm.
But Vagabond says step on me and they ban him instantly.
Gundam is like, I could do all of this stuff. I could do all of this stuff on my own Twitch account, and I would get banned in a heartbeat.
And that's the thing. There were a bunch of men who literally got together and were doing all the things that all these women were doing, and were just getting banned instantly, left and right. They basically did it as just a ploy to expose how full of shit Twitch is.
Like their business model is, if you have a vagina, it's okay.
Yeah, if you're a guy,
it works. Twitch is incredibly profitable for that reason, because all the women that are on there now are the ones that will draw male eyes to it. Lonely males to to.
Yeah,
fast-
is it
to
so? Is
fast
this so?
to
It's we're
fast.
taking relationships and turning them into like economic transactions.
Yeah,
we
gross.
could argue about the
Yeah, that-
extent to which marriage was an economic transaction anyway, but now it's like literally like you're paying some like Twitch thought to acknowledge you.
Yeah, it's that parasocial dichotomy that we've talked about.
Oh
plenty of
fuck,
time.
dude, that's bleak.
It's just-
Oh my god,
I
and it's
know.
like let's go through the chat real quick, and then I want to get into this because this woman is. Here's the thing: she's not all women are like this, but there's enough of them that are like this that it's a problem, and she's got a lot of content that has gone viral. So this is not, I'm not telling
what
secrets out of
way?
school with her. We're gonna find out, Nate. That's one of the cool things that happens when you watch the show is it just unfolds before us like linear time has always done. Okay. Hail Society Reviews. People are saying hi to you. That's pretty cool. Hail White Knight Theo. That's me. Oh shit, that's funny. Let's see. Oh, same thing with R. Kelly. Everybody knows what R. Kelly was doing.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Kayla. Society
Even made a
Reviews.
whole-
We got a
made
question
whole
from
Boondocks episode about
Society
it.
Reviews in the chat. How do you think the Obama girl played into the thing against Harvey? I don't know if you
don't
know
know
what that's
about
in
that.
reference to. I don't know what that's in reference to, but
Is it Obama's
Like the
daughter?
actual Obama girl from like 20 years ago, or
Yeah,
is
maybe.
this somebody else?
I don't
Well,
know.
no, there's Big Mike Obama. It's not a girl.
Let's see.
No, we're talking about the meme Obama girl, not
Oh,
Big
this is-
Mike.
Oh, okay.
LOL, my dad is awesome. This guy is lame. Thank you, Kayla. See, that's the thing. That's what happens if a girl has a good dad. Then it's very hard to turn her into a crazy feminist harpy because we said it
Well,
before.
I will pause on that because I've seen crazy harpies who have dads. I think the difference is that, and this is something for you guys out there who have kids, if you want to make sure that your woman doesn't become a complete and total sociopath, make sure you beat accountability into her at a young age. Because that is like the one thing that a lot of people, because let's be honest, we've all dated girls at some point of our life who had daddy's little princess syndrome, and that is no more fun than dating a feminist. So just saying that there are some instances out there too, so you got to be careful.
Well, it's actually kind of funny, and Theo, you can probably back me up on this too. Something I just realized, like what is every time you try to argue a general point towards a woman or just a woman in general, what is always her comeback? Well, I know somebody.
It's always a personal example because that's how they understand the world, right?
Yeah, they deny the generalization because they know someone who didn't do that. Use that to your advantage. Be a good dad. Because what is most of feminism and what is most of like this gynocentric nonsense in our culture now? It's all men are bad because I had a bad father. Combat that because it's so easy to do that because be a good father to her because it's the same thing. They see something bad, they hear about something bad happening to some other girl in their sisterhood. They realize, wait, my dad didn't do that. My dad wasn't like that. And so I think that breaks them out of that frame because all of a sudden they have a personal example of why that isn't true. So I think it's far easier to parent your kid into be a better human being than a lot of people realize.
This is a good point coming from the chat. Hold on. Actually, I want to do this one first. Hypercapitalism, most economically lucrative models hinge on the exploitation of women. Thanks, Jason. This is something I pointed out a lot. If you walk through Target, like Target is just a landmine of like hijacking a woman's gathering instinct. That's why they walk in there and they like black out and spend $200. They're just like, that's cute, that's cute, that's cute, that's cute. They can't stop. You know,
there's an entire subculture around that too.
And then think about, I know multiple
personality
men,
trait.
I know multiple married men who have extra storage units because their wife has accumulated a lot of holiday decorations. They have to, why? Why is that important? Why is that? Because you look at a woman in a Target during Christmas time. It's just like, that's cute, that's cute, that's cute, that's cute, that's cute. It doesn't stop. They can't help it. You know, I think it's like psychologically hijacking them. And I do think, like I've said before, like Target is it's like a pyramid scheme to separate white women from their money. That's how it stays open, right?
Well,
like that's what it's for.
To be fair, to be fair, if you go inside of a Bass Pro Shop, I'll be doing.
That's true. That's true. No. Hold on. You're speaking sense now. I don't disagree with that. It's like consumer culture. Yeah, no, he's right. He's right. He's got a point. He's got a point.
But
Jackie's
however,
got a
If I go to Bass Pro Shop, I'm at least leaving with a T-shirt. That's all.
there is more, but there is more useful stuff in a Bass Pro Shop that would actually make better use of your money. There's something you can actually use, and not just some little decorative knickknack that you're never going to see again, and that you're never going to see again in a year.
Or
You know?
like I'll be window
Even
shopping.
men can do splurging better than women can.
I'll be doing window shopping at Home Depot and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get that piece of pine wood or whatever.
Never.
Oh yeah, look at that John Deere riding lawnmower. Yeah, you ride that good.
I think I wasn't gonna buy a laser sight for my 12 gauge. It's like, what do you?
Never ever go to Hobby Lobby with your mother, your aunt, and your cousin-in-law. That's a bad idea. You'll never leave.
Yeah.
Don't go to Hobby Lobby. Period.
Yes. This is actually a good point too. I want to bring this up because DJ Direwolf's making a good point. One good dad can only do so much compared to the billion voices around her, TV, phone, telling her to be a piece of shit. This is a good point that women are just like constantly inundated with propaganda. Like, because remember, we don't have a lot of people say that this is like the worst women in history. It's like it's not. These are morally ordinary women that are being subject to propaganda by people who hate them and want them to suffer. And that's why they're like this. It's because they're being lied to all the time by people who hate them and want them to suffer, right? So that's why they're like this. It's not, they're ordinary. They're just like regular ass women, but they're being constantly propagandized. And I will say that, but in response to that, I would say you cannot be, it is hard to drown out all the propaganda, but you maybe won't be the only voice that she hears, but as her dad, you will be the most important voice that she hears.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can do a lot. And I do think we've had a lot. Remember, a lot of our society is about, part of this is downstream of deliberate efforts to separate parents from children. Like the fact that parents spend all day at work, kids spend all day in government schools. They come home and you get the worst 90 minutes of the day with each other, right?
Well, not only that, you're even when the kid's at home, the homework takes away from you being at home with your family.
That's time that you could be spending actually like enjoying being home with your family. And so you can't and also the other thing too is don't underestimate how strong even the most logical, self-possessed, thoughtful women I know, when they're processing new information, they always start with "I know a guy who" or "I know a girl who," right? And so when she's thinking about when a feminist is trying to tell her that men are all garbage, the first thing she's going to think about, no matter what else she's read, no matter what else she's seen, the first thing she's going to think about is her dad. So, like I'm saying, a lot of this that's why it's so important for them to denigrate fathers, to separate fathers from their children. Like they wouldn't spend so much time on that if it weren't important. So, and the cool thing about that is you just gotta tell them to fuck off. You can do that. You could you can counteract at like the personal level. You don't have to change shit about society in order to make that happen, which is really cool. I think one of the things that we get caught up in sometimes in the politics space is we're like, oh, so many things are bad and wrong, and it's the whole society's fucked. But like, you
never black pill.
Yeah, you doing your little part is more helpful than you think. So. It's like, even if your little part is like, he feels insignificant, it's not, your little part is, because if everybody does their little part, then the ripple effect is pretty big. But here's the problem. Okay. So a lot of people are like, there's two kind of like forces working against people in the culture that I want to talk about. And one is that the women getting worse, and then porn and video games getting better. And that's going into sex robots. Like, I got to show you, we're going to show you these back to back because I want to make this point. Because remember, dating costs money, and we've already gone over how a lot of guys are either unemployed or underemployed, or bills are like, way more than what they used to be. Like, people are not in the same position economically that maybe they were 20 to 30 years ago. And we're still holding people to that like mid-90s standard, of like, that's what life should be like, single income, home, big yard, multiple cars, nice neighborhood, golden retriever, everything's fine. And that's just not the economic reality a lot of people are living in now. And people are going to social media, they're setting their standards to be like very, very aspirational, and they're told not to settle ever. and they're pricing themselves completely out of the market. You know, go ahead. Anyway, we're gonna go over this, right?
I got asked to go on a date the other day, but he wanted to get coffee and then go on a walk.
Oh boy.
Mind you, the only pictures I have of me outside on my Instagram are me at a beach outside the country.
So not only is she upset by the offer of the coffee date, but he should have known not to offer a coffee date because he should have been able to read her mind. He should have just read the context clues. He should have scanned her Instagram obsessively, and from that drawn the inference that she was a goddess level queen who is too good for.
I know that this has been a controversial opinion, but I'll go this way on it. Men, keep offering the coffee date. But here's why. This is the quickest and fastest way of knowing whether she's actually interested in you or she's interested in the food.
It's coffee or ice cream or something. It's never offer the big grand dinner.
Here's the thing, guys. It might suck for her too. She might also want to leave after an hour with minimal investment, right? Like, I mean, it's a smart thing to do for everyone. It's a great opportunity to just kind of, hey, do we have chemistry? Okay, cool. Let's do something else next time.
It's better to be out $10 than to spend $400 at Cheesecake Factory and she hates you because you took the Cheesecake Factory.
Hold on. I have to say something. I have to say this, bro. I did. So I was out. I was doing a show the other night, and this lady comic went on like before me. Mm-hmm. And she talked about how the Cheesecake Factory is like bum ass food, and she's like way too good for the Cheesecake Factory and all this stuff. So anyway, so I'm sitting in the back. I'm going on last, and there's a lot of comics before me, and I'm just sitting there seething. And I get up there and I'm like, okay, so who told you bitches that you're too good for the Cheesecake Factory? I did my whole set about it because I was furious. And let me tell you what, all the women are like, actually, it's not good. And all the men are like, hey, that's good eats. What are we doing here? Like the men were like, yeah, you know what?
Because the men
for a reason. It's fucking delicious, but it's expensive.
That's why I said the men have seen the bill. So they know.
They're the only ones to see the bill.
This is what I'm saying.
Women act like you've taken them to Chili's or something like that.
It's good food too. I don't understand. I have never had a bad experience at a Cheesecake Factory. It's always hot. It may be expensive, but it's always good.
Because these are the people who think that they deserve like Eddie V's on the first date or something like that.
I don't even know where else to take somebody. Like seriously, I don't know where to take them on a fancy date because I don't even take myself on a fancy date.
Here's the thing.
The fancy date I have is a French cafe near me. That's it.
No, one of the problems is if you get a woman conditioned to going to fancy places with you and you don't usually go to fancy places, she has an unrealistic idea of what life is gonna be like, and that's not gonna be sustainable. Yeah. So you're setting yourself up for resentment later. You should invite her to shit you were gonna do anyway. Honestly, you got to meet me at the gym, the comedy club, or Chipotle's. Those are the only places I go. I don't go to a fourth location.
Comic book shop, just like those little men can shit test too. Women shit test all the time. Men can do it too.
And by the way, this used to before men and women hated each other. This used to be just called feeling people out, or like vetting people, or seeing if there was compatibility. Like this did not have to be such a low trust environment thing. Like we deal with women now, like we're like it's like a Mexican standoff where we're like, are you gonna kill me? No. Are you gonna kill me? No. Okay, let's put the guns away. Like it's like that's what going on a date now is like. You're like vetting her to see like, are you a psychopath, criminal, pickpocket? And she's like, no. Are you a rapist?
She'd be fucking lucky if I took her to a Longhorn Steakhouse.
That's the thing. It's like it used to be nice. It used to be nice.
It's like when you see like these videos of women who go on first date and like they show themselves like covering their drink. It's like, I don't trust that you're not gonna rape me. And it's like, as a man, if she does that, like how do you continue on with the date like as normal at that
Why are
point?
you on a date with me if you think that's a possibility? Why are you doing this?
Like, why would you go in the first place?
What am I supposed to say after that? How's your day?
Like shit, bro.
Hey, are you feeling okay? Oh, I'm all right.
What are we
Tell
doing
me about
here?
your interest. Like,
does this cloth smell like chloroform to you?
I got the van running. We can go right now.
Okay.
Are
well,
you
we
allergic to
basically-
zip ties?
We're gonna listen to this video a little bit more. We're gonna cover this, I guess, and then I'm gonna show you. I gotta show you where we're at with sex robots, dude, because they're not,
Oh, good.
Are they
Like,
the
that's
videos
it.
I've been sending you?
All the
Yes.
other pictures of me are in heels, dressed up, makeup done, hair done. What about me tells you
Also, her
I would want to
eyes.
go
It's
get
always
coffee
the
and go on a
eyes.
walk?
Look at her eyes.
Stop asking me stupid fucking questions.
I mean, just
And
look
he
at
was
her
like, I only
fidgeting
want
with
a
her
girl who
hair. Just
appreciates
like,
walks or like simple things.
She's so
Then
angry.
go get a dog, bitch. I'm a bitch, but I'm not a dog. Stop wasting my fucking time asking me stupid fucking shit. I got
Only modern women can get away with calling themselves bitches and thinking that that's a good thing. It's not a good thing, ladies. Do not do this to yourselves, you idiots.
I mean, I call women bitches, but I do it as a term of endearment. I mean,
if a woman refers to herself as a bitch as a positive thing, that is like, okay, leave. Just go.
It's the biggest red flag.
Check this out. Check this out.
You're warm.
And a little nervous.
Me too. Oh hell no. So we started with
You see what I'm saying?
Oh hell yes.
Bro, that's a good one.
Jesus.
Bro, Vagabond, if you have more of those, can you share?
Oh, Vagabond's got a whole.
It's about to be like
folder of this
Cyberpunk
shit.
2077 up in here, son.
I'm telling you, dude.
But it's just
like-
the robot's feet.
That's the thing. Is like that's what's coming, and VR porn is coming. Like I'm saying, there's gonna be a lot of stuff that I think men are gonna look at how difficult like reality is to deal with. It's like, so we talked about challenges they're facing in the job market. We talked about the challenges of just getting by and paying bills. There's no incentive to work extra hard because you can't set things aside and, you know, create a more stable financial future. A lot of guys don't see
On
a
the
point,
bright side,
right?
at least if she starts nagging, I could just shut her off.
That's the thing. And so I think people are going to look at like dealing with women in real life. And then I think a lot of guys are going to just, there's a lot of things encouraging men to check out. And I think a lot of women have priced themselves out of the market with their expectations. And I think men would kind of rather give up. And this breakdown in reciprocity means men are not doing stuff for society. They're not fulfilling what traditionally would have been their responsibility to contribute to society, because I think they're asking kind of justifiably, what do I get? And that's a question I've noticed that a lot of women have never thought about what men get out of participating in society. A lot of women have a very sophisticated idea of what men are supposed to do, but they haven't dedicated any time at all into thinking about what men are supposed to get out of society. So when I say a breakdown in reciprocity, a lot of times the response I get back is, well, a real man would do it without expecting anything. And I would be like, no. There's no
pay me or I'm not. Pay me, I'm not doing anything.
Got me
No,
wanting to play
fuck that.
Detroit Become Human now.
Well, it's interesting that women expect men to just do stuff because it's a good thing to do, and they don't have the same compunction. They don't do things because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So why are we the only ones who expected to do it?
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
we're in play class.
let's look at the chat real quick, and then let's use this target tip to pick up women. Good advice, Jason. Good advice. Kayla, I don't know. My dad's the best. My dad taught me work ethic, how to be respectful, how to be honest, how to think logically, and to listen to understand. See, that's pretty cool. See, having a
Sure,
dad
he
matters.
did, liar. No, she.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like moral, self-respect, and life skills. Thank you, Kayla. See, this is how important this is. The kind of difference a good dad could make. Oh, here's a good point. DJ Direwolf. This is something I talked about on the show yesterday. Then there's college, where kids leave completely from the family, friends, and community to a place where they have to rely on others and usually get the worst advice possible. Yeah, they get terrible advice. They become debt slaves, and they abandon any morality that they were raised with in order to participate. It's like that fucking island Pinocchio goes to, where he turns into a donkey. That's what fucking college is.
I will say this
out of me as a
too.
kid.
and that is 100% true. And this is a parenting problem. It's like we send our kids out into the world without actually preparing them for what they're going to experience in the world. So it's like, yeah, just send Jimmy or Kimmy out off to the University of Miami, and then he comes back, Thanksgiving, and she has a body count of 30, and all of a sudden she's talking about, progressive dynamics. It's like, where the hell did this woman come from? It's like, well, you just send them off to the world completely unprepared with how to deal with things, and you wonder why they came back like this. It's like, that's on you.
You sent them off to the one place specifically designed for them to come back like that, and you expect anything different. Come on. We really do have to put a lot of blame on parents now, because it's not like the stereotype of the debauched college experience hasn't been around for a half a goddamn century. We know this happens. Now, granted, it doesn't happen everywhere. There are places that people that are avoided. Like my college was not one of those places. It still happened, but it didn't happen at the encouragement of the staff or the faculty or the students. But like, especially if you get a lot of these party schools, you cannot send people to concentration camps and expect them to come back healthy. That's not how that works. And especially something we also need to be very, very clear about. It's not just your fellow students that are actually encouraging you to participate in this. And Theo, I put this in the chat a while ago, like in one of your other theocracies. Yeah. It's these creepy boomer professors who are sitting there. I guarantee you they are beating off to the idea that their young students are fucking each other. That's the only reason they're encouraging any of this. They are creepy motherfuckers, and we don't call them out on it because they're educators. They're supposed to know more than us. They have tenure, they have doctorates, whatever, but they're creepy perverts who just want their students to fuck each other, and they've been doing this generation after generation after generation, and we need to stop pretending like this doesn't happen.
Okay, here's the thing. I would have thought that was loopy. I would have thought that was a loopy idea that this whole thing was goon based. But then I thought about it, and it's how much of the stuff, sexuality as identity, is something that is huge in college. College is one of the main places that spreads
I'll take it a step further just to build off what you and Strider were saying. Not just college, but high school, middle school, sometimes even elementary school. They try to shove that down your throat as early as like 5-6 years old. And it's creepy as shit, dude.
It's all come from the boomers, man. I'm telling you, it's all this ridiculous free love hippy dippy bullshit that premiered back in the 60s, and people are we're seeing the influence all the way down. Except they didn't stop at children, which should have been stopping at.
Well, okay, this is what's interesting is hear me out of this. So the idea of like identifying yourself by your sexual proclivities is like deeply unsettling and weird to me. Yeah. Like that's not how I would choose to divide people up. I don't think that's like the most important identifying feature. And the fact that they are so obsessed with like, now it's gotten to the point, like when I was in college, I was hearing all that stuff for the first time. But now people are hearing it at the elementary level because people my age, millennials, are all the elementary school teachers. And like telling children to ruminate on their sexual proclivities and ruminate on what that how to politicize their sexuality is like deeply unsettling. That's a deeply weird thing to do.
We should be teaching these kids how to write and read and, how to count and, teach them their ABCs. But instead, we're trying to teach them, gender studies. Like they know what the fuck any of that means anyway.
That's deeply weird. That's deeply weird.
It is deeply weird, but it's also behaving exactly as it's supposed to. Because because it used to be university education used to be to create a person, to create a human, man or woman, that could do any job, to create this kind of full person that could do a lot of different things, that was adaptable. They had these foundational philosophies, these foundational thinking skills that would allow them to do anything they wanted, and that's what it used to be. But that's like the Ciceroan educational model. Now, our education system is now geared up for you to do a certain job. You know who did that back in the Roman times? Slaves. So we are now literally creating students that are now going to be sex slaves, and that's it.
Well, okay, here's
it's gross.
What was that book so basically the whole thing is the whole it's all communist bullshit. So they have a whole set out plan, which to get rid of capitalism is first to create a sexual revolution or sexual degeneracy. That's what we're seeing. Gothics used to have a talk about this book that it would have it in there. And it's like the steps of creating a communist society or whatever.
Oh, I know what you're referring to.
Yeah, and then so what we're seeing is the sexual revolution. But in this sexual revolution, what the thing that they're doing is trying to blur the lines between what a man and a woman is, and when you allow kids to be able to say they're able to have sex changes or whatever, what you're doing is giving the kids to say they have the ability to have consent.
Should you treat a girl?
Fuck this guy.
Okay, so you guys have I've seen some recognition. Okay, for those of you that don't know, this guy has a transgender partner. There's videos of him going to elementary schools to talk and stuff like that.
He's a math teacher, by the way.
Yeah, and so this is one of the things he's doing. So this is, I mean, I don't know if any of those other videos were staged, but this one he's definitely talking to a kid that he's spoke to before. Now this is important, okay, because what he's doing here is not strictly speaking about trans studies, but what it is he's trying to set this guy's standards for women's what behavior he should expect from women. And a lot of people are saying, oh, so he's just teaching him respect and not to be a misogynist and da. But what he's doing is teaching him to align his expectations with feminist talking points. Let's go ahead and watch it, and let's see what we can. And the kid clearly has no idea what the fuck's going on. The kid does not have enough relevant context to process this information. But let's see.
And they know that.
Let's see what's going on. Right, their brains are made out of pudding, and that's why they're targeting kids. Because if they can get them hooked on this, this will go with them the rest of their lives. So let's go ahead and watch it.
Is there anything wrong with what she's wearing?
No.
How about her?
No.
Or her?
No.
Okay. Which girl's the smartest?
All of them.
Yeah, all of them, right? We don't know. Which girl deserves the most kindness?
All of them.
Yeah. Which one deserves the most respect?
All of them.
All of them. Should you treat a girl differently based on what she's wearing?
No.
No. What if a boy thinks she shouldn't be wearing something?
They're allowed to wear whatever they want. It's their body.
Yes. What matters about a girl's clothes?
If you want to wear it.
If you want to wear it, yeah. What matters is if you like it, right? Yeah. Girls can wear whatever they feel comfortable in, right?
Yeah.
Good job, bud.
Which is hilarious that he brings up the bitch and the burqa, because you don't do that in those countries. You are not allowed that privilege in those other countries, you stupid cunt. I fucking hate this guy. This guy is going to be in the news in about 2 years having raped that kid.
100% that guy is a
I'm
child.
shocked.
I don't want that to happen, but the thing is, I've seen too many goddamn instances of this happen.
But this is super important. So a key part of this leftist indoctrination is they are trying to break down our ability to make qualitative distinctions between behavior. And we're not allowed to make qualitative distinctions between cultures, between behaviors, between groups of people, even between individual people. We're not allowed to make any kind of qualitative judgments at all.
Noticing patterns are bad.
Noticing patterns is bad. Now, speaking, guys, okay, tell me if you've seen this. Do you guys remember the Minneapolis mayor after that trans school shooting, and how he was like immediately fuck your thoughts and prayers and all this stuff, right? Do you remember that? Remember that? Okay, well, he's back. And because remember, Minnesota has been having some trouble with the Somali population and a lot of government funds being misappropriated and immigration issues and all this stuff, right? Okay, so this is super. I saw this and this is downstream of all this other stuff that we're talking about, because they're trying to annihilate standards and annihilate our ability to make qualitative distinctions and just demand more and demand more and demand more, and feel a general disdain towards not just like men and women having disdain for each other, but having just a general disdain for the culture, disdain for our traditions. And downstream of it is this shit right here. Okay, go ahead. Yep.
That's not American. That's not what we are about. And we're going to do right by every single person in our cities. And so, too, are
He's-
Somali.
He's talking about the ICE raids that are going on there right now.
I love how he's
So-
flanked by 2 black guys. As if there's a
So
gun.
remember, yes, okay, that's how actually watch that guy over his shoulder and not because these aren't just remember because you're saying 2 black guys, what you're actually talking about is like that guy over his shoulder. I don't know about this guy, I don't know who that is. The guy over his shoulder over here, that guy's a Somali person because so like there's foundational Black Americans are part of the story of America. Somalis are brand new. That's not the same that's calling them black in the same way you call foundational Black Americans black is a category error. That's not the same group at all. Okay,
Like, Somalis can't sit there and be like, for 400 years they've been holding their country.
No, they got here yesterday and they immediately started eating our pets. They can't.
He gets up. He gets right next to him, right behind his ear, starts talking like Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder. That boy's kept us down for 400 years.
That's the theme song. The thing. A Somali would not even know. Would not even be able to say that's the theme song for the Jeffersons. He has no idea.
No, he's not. This isn't. No, this is a completely different group, and they're trying to smuggle this in under the Black Lives Matter white guilt exemption. That's how they're trying to gaslight white people into being okay with this. Is like this is they're just this ever expanding suicidal empathy of being guilty that you're descended from successful ancestors. Anyway, go ahead and let's tie this up because I want this part is really gnarly. Go ahead because he's about to address the Somali population directly. Let's see how he does it. Go ahead.
Daman Shabka. Somali Aid. Minnesota, Belhan, Minneapolis.
Watch this guy nod. Watch this guy nod. Yes.
Guam,
Cuck yourself.
Ku,
Yes.
Gereb, Taganahan.
Dirka. My name is Ahmed, and I'm a terrorist.
Oh my god, what a fucking retard.
Which is actually funny. That scene in Team American World Police, the guys that come up to him are Somali terrorists.
Yeah.
We're terrorists from Somalia. Who are you? I'm Ahmed Dirka. I'm a terrorist. That's so cringe. That was worse than him kneeling at George Floyd's gold-plated coffin.
Yeah. This is fucking
Yeah.
horrible.
It's all the name of pandering. Like it's because it's just more votes for them, right? So if these guys are known as citizens, and he's like, look what everything I've done for you to get you here. So when it's my re-election time, you just vote for me again.
These people would sell their own mothers for a fucking nickel if it meant they could get more votes.
That's really what it is. So think about this. Think about being a young guy who grew up in Minneapolis and you're like 20 years old now. And you look around and your neighborhood has completely changed. Everything has gotten worse. You turn on like video games suck now. Because remember, like Society, Vagabond, Strider, you guys are all about my age. When we were young, 15 years old, the school system was feminist and it sucked. But you could go home and play Halo. You could go home and video games were good.
I would never lower myself to play Halo. I'm just
okay. Well, we'll play whatever fancy smart guy game Society played is
Age of Empires.
Society's like, I was playing Tetris.
Now it's like
I was playing SOCOM like a fucking man. Thank you.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. It's like at least video games were good. We were younger, and it's like, look, part of being a teenage guy is getting rejected by women as you try to be a nice guy and realize it doesn't work. But we could deal with that, grow past it, and go home and like mope and play video games because fucking like Madden wasn't gonna reject us, Call of Duty wasn't gonna reject us, whatever. If you're in story games like fucking Oblivion wasn't going to reject us. We could go home and like now the guys coming up who are like 20 years old now, video games have sucked the whole time they've been alive pretty much, except for Japanese games. Like mainstream video games suck, movies suck, no aspirational figures, TV sucks. They're just, all of it is like slop to, play on, like just get excited and consume next product. Here's your ideological slop. All of it's like, and the whole school system has been, taking shots at men. White men are evil. White men are the problem. Sit down, shut the fuck up, let women lead. And you look around and your society's completely changed. The jobs are not looking for you, right? You're having a really hard time even getting employed at a basic level. You don't have nearly enough money to do anything significant or to like take a girl out. If you ask her if she wants to go out for coffee, she's going to fucking She may not spit in your face. She may be happy that you asked her. But if you look at, remember, a lot of these guys, most of their experiences for women are coming from clips from the Whatever podcast. So they're seeing clips or clips women post themselves, you know, where it's just like you're finding out, oh, fuck, they really hate me. I guess I better just not bother them, you know? And then you look up and your leaders, the people who are supposed to be advocating for you, your elected representatives, are like bending over backwards as your neighborhood is invaded. Right? Like, imagine how that fucking feels. This is why Nick Fuentes is popular. This is why.
Yeah.
This shit we're seeing, what I just did this whole fucking episode on is to say, when a guy like Scott Galloway is like, oh man, why are men using like porn and sex robots and Nick Fuentes over interacting with women like this super fat, homely mid and her friends?
It's the equivalent of like 5 years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, when all these churches started going after Andrew Tate because, oh, Andrew Tate's a terrible influence on young men. And it's like everyone was on, it's like, why are all these young men listening to Andrew Tate? It's because he's the only one who's addressing a problem that you're not talking about.
Yeah,
So
this is their option.
Churches need to provide something to replace it with, and they never do because their churches are 100% revolving around keeping women in the pews, and they don't give a shit about men.
That's what I'm saying. The best that the mainstream culture can come up with as far as aspirational masculinity, the best controlled opposition they can find is fucking Scott Galloway, which shows that they do not understand the problem. They do not understand the problem if you think that's your left-wing answer to Joe Rogan.
It's not that they don't understand the problem. They don't want to address the problem. Like they can't even have you come to the conclusion that this is in fact the problem. So they try to like sway you away like something else. It's like watching an elephant on the beach. You point at the dog, be like, oh, the dog is the one causing all this trouble. You start chasing after it. It's like the elephant's still there. It's like he hasn't left.
Yeah.
What the dog doing?
That's right. The dog, poor dog is just minding his sweet Christian business, and the elephant is there the whole time being the main problem. And this is it's just refusal. And I kind of, you know, after talking to you guys, I kind of think like maybe the reason they're not addressing the problem is because they're creating the problem on purpose. So it's deliberate. It's deliberate hate suppression.
The pipe bomb gone right now, right?
Yeah.
Obviously a black dude.
Yeah.
Wait, he's black?
Yeah, in between me and society's complexion, right? And they're labeling this guy as a white guy on certain, depending on what news network you watch.
Yeah.
So here's great. Here, shit. Now you made me think of CNN. I lost my train of thought there. I'll get back in here in a second.
Well, that's the other thing too. Okay, so something else that's going on in this week. This is just more reasons to give in to nihilism. Do you see what's that? Was that betting app that just bought CNN or whatever that was? Did you guys see that?
I saw that. Yeah. I saw that.
So it's like this is a what's it, call sheet? I think it is. It doesn't matter. The point is this is an app where you can bet on news and current events that just bought a news network. So it's kind of like when ESPN released a sports betting app. Like I felt like that was a conflict of interest, right? Where it's like the place you get sports information is also setting the odds and taking your bets, right? That's
so now you can make money off of terrorist attacks in Nashville.
Yeah, but now it's the news. It's the news, dude. If this was in a dystopian sci-fi novel, I would be like, oh, well, that's a fun idea. I see the point they're making, but that's ridiculous. That would never happen in real life.
Oh,
it's like
let's cause certain thing to happen. I mean, before we cause it, let's create let people bet what's going to happen.
Yes, dude. Like it's so if you're that's the other thing too. I don't have time to cover this today because we talk a lot about the relationship dynamics and the man-woman problem on this show. But the amount of gambling you can do on your phone is just going to annihilate a generation of men financially because they don't have any incentive to invest in the long term, to save, to look at the future. They don't have any reasonable expectation things you're going to get better, and that encourages like short-term risk taking. And some guys do super well in crypto, which causes a lot of guys to get into crypto, maybe not knowing what they're doing. Some guys do super well with sports betting, which causes a lot of guys to try it out. And 9 times out of 10, these guys are losing their whole ass, you know, but they can bet on their phones.
To get back to the elephant on the beach thing you were talking about, there's a special Next Generation episode that deals with this, where Captain Picard is being forced to say how many lights are in the room. where he can obviously see 4, but then they're telling him there's 5 lights. That's what's going on. It's perfectly.
I remember the point that I was going to make here. So this is something that we've been brought up on the course of this show here too. We know that there's a problem in the relationship dynamic right now, right? But when anytime anyone talks about this, what do you always hear? It's like, oh, it's the men's fault. The source of it has to be the men. So it's like whenever you hear somebody talk about this, it's always, well, the men are too busy in their mother's basements watching porn and playing video games, and they're not willing to take any responsibility, blah, blah, blah.
Hey, Matt Walsh.
The female equivalent of it is like, oh, well, the problem with the women is that, they're not expecting better of their men. And you're like,
yes.
That's the only problem? Like, that's
it's like the problem is like women's standards aren't high enough. Like they haven't girl bossed close enough to the sun yet. And they haven't.
In South Korea, I'm not sure if you guys have been paying attention to South Korea, is a perfect example of this problem right here. In the reality, what's happening is that the men are going further and further politically to the right. The women are going further and further politically to the left, and they're completely incompatible with each other just based on politics alone. Because if
that's happening here.
Yeah, it's happening here too. Like if you're like some uber conservative, religious, Christian man, you're not going to seek out, some uber feminist, woman who's one day going to turn your kid into, a trans kid and all this, the abortion, LGBTQ crowd. Like you're not going to seek out that woman, but she's going further to the right. I mean, to the left. You're going further to the right, and it's like there's not even a starting ground for a relationship anymore. And this is becoming a bigger and bigger problem. South Korea is like essentially like ground zero for this. And what do you see happening there? Population collapse. Why? Because the men and women are literally not having kids anymore.
Well, even it's not just there. So here's populations going down. Then Japan as well too. It's not the only ones that their populations are booming is pretty much China and India. And all the Muslim countries.
I heard recently
the only birth rates that are rising is your kid's name is Muhammad.
And his cousin's name is Muhammad.
Can you imagine the whole kindergarten class where everyone's name is Muhammad? That's a fucking nightmare.
And this is why, I think there's a couple things going on here. There's also some suggestion I've heard, and I don't know if this is true. I haven't looked into this enough yet to talk about it. But what I've heard is that China has, because of incentives in their system in terms of for the hospitals and stuff and how doctors get paid, they have actually been overcounting their population for a while. And they're starting to realize that they actually don't have as many people as they thought they did. And they made certain investments in their country based on, we're going to have this much tax revenue coming in. And now that population actually isn't there. So they may be looking at some serious stuff. I haven't looked at this enough to really talk about it on the show.
That makes a lot of sense because China has been a paper tiger for a very long time. Like they are decades in the past as far as technology is concerned. Like they don't have the they're building, like they build all these infrastructures, these paper towns where it's just concrete blocks where they are not inhabited by anybody. There's no infrastructure. It's all fake. Everything that China said is fake. Every report that they say is fake. Now, granted, because otherwise they wouldn't be trying so hard to be like a cultural hegemon and try to replace the West. They wouldn't have to try so hard to do that if their population was doing that naturally. It's all a house of cards. It's all lies because it is endemic. It is pretty much within their DNA to never admit defeat. Everything's always successful. It's like it's the Hitler mindset. There's no such thing as defeat because you can't look bad in front of the rest of the world. So China is not as much of a threat as we might imagine them to be. India, however, might be a bit of a different story just because they're incompetent and there's so fucking many of them. And they actually have no room to lie.
And they keep coming here.
China, right? There's two things in China because financially, like I said, the best equivalent of this is like, look at your IRA, right? You have your IRA, you assume that your IRA was worth $600,000. Yeah. And then one day you realize the true value is about $30,000. But your entire future plan was based on it being $600,000. So now you have a big problem, right? And when it comes to China, not only are they a paper tiger, as you said, everything is controlled by the Chinese government. So all these propaganda videos that you're seeing on social media, X, TikTok, all this stuff, it's all propaganda from the Chinese government. And if you want to go down a deep and dark rabbit hole, you would realize that not only does Elon Musk have a lot of business dealings in China, but apparently his mom is like a megastar over in China. And there's a lot of questionable business dealings there. Like I say, go down a very dark rabbit hole in your own time there. So
Well, there's a lot of encouragement to be had here, and I know Theo, you're probably going to wrap up pretty soon, but but there's a lot of encouragement to be had in the very sense that so much of this shit is being foisted on us. So much of it has to be forced. So much it has to be shoved in our faces, because these are not ideas that come naturally to people. Every one of these things that we've been talking about, it is all contrary to nature. It is an ideology of death. It's an ideology of the destruction of culture. Life perpetuates itself. Life needs to perpetuate itself. That's what life does. Life keeps going. Life finds a way to keep on continuing. What these people are always advocating for is death, 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 and more death. It runs contrary to nature. They are the ones that will eventually die off, while the ones who are actually encouraging the good things of the world, that like perpetuating our species, like having kids, like having a family. These are things that we value. That is what will continue to survive, because it's what the entirety of human nature has done since time immemorial. We've always wanted to have kids. We've always wanted to have a family. We've always wanted to create a society for our children or our grandchildren. And that's all we ever want to do. And that's all we will ever continue to want to do. Don't let these bastards grind you down. Don't take the black pill. Don't think that everything is cooked. It's not. It's just kind of a dark time in society right now, but eventually the tide will turn. It's what it's always done.
Well, to touch on what Theo said earlier, I did have a coworker or ex-coworker that she was born and raised in China. No siblings because of the one child act or whatever they had or whatever. But basically, from what I gathered from her was, and I've seen some other things where there's not enough men in China. So it's like a lot of women are looking hard to try to get married. So you guys have passports, maybe there might be something there, find someone who's willing to gain some freedom.
But you gotta be careful though.
Remember, you can't wage a war with no men.
But
it's like the same thing, like when you see like these hot Russian women like on social media, you think, oh, I'm gonna go to Russia and marry a woman. Then you realize their divorce rate's like 75%. And so like, oh, I wonder what's going on over here.
No, I'm going to Transylvania. I'm getting a lady Domitresk. That's what I'm doing.
No, but in all seriousness, like, so you're seeing industries. If you guys remember Naomi, the sexy cyborg, or does anyone know that?
What?
So
I mean, I'm listening.
Continue. Okay, so China forced her off the internet, but basically she was an engineer in China, in like mainland China, and she would build like the most elaborate shit ever, and I used to watch it all the time. But the government forced her off the internet, off of YouTube or whatever. So everyone, people don't know if she's alive yet or still whatever, but she would go in these different districts, and normally everywhere part of the world where it's mostly just men, it's all female there because there's not enough men.
Well, all right, folks. Well, I'm gonna say goodbye to the chat real quick, and then we're gonna get wrapped up with outros. But I want to touch it with the chat. Toasty is here. What's up, Toasty? How you doing? Mr. Scott Awesome said this is in reference to, we were talking about sports betting and crypto. It's like, remember the theory of 10% of people know what they're doing, but they keep pushing and keep it pushing, but the 90% are just too stupid. And I think that is kind of the problem with sports betting. There are people who gamify it, and then there are people who are just like fucking winging it and just going with their gut. And they let everybody have access to it. And then the people who lose all the time finance the people who are approaching it with a sophisticated strategy and winning. And it's like, it's not good. And they sell it as this idea that like, hey, it could happen to you. You could strike it rich, but it's a losing proposition, and it's not good. The birth rate down. DJ Direwolf very plugged into stuff. Japan and all the Western adjacent countries. Yeah, because all of Western Europe is dealing with similar problems. The birth rate is down all over the place. Side note, Vagabond, what do you think about doing an episode on cars, or have you done that already? That might be fun.
I did answer that in the chat, so I just have to.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I just need to get a panelist that are into Itasha cars and JDM.
Nice.
So, because there's episodes where I'll talk about a certain subject and I'm like the only one out of like my panel of like 12 people. So
that's great. Filipino women are the most popular mail order bride types here. Okay. Thanks, buddy. It's just got awesome. Shout out to a friend of the channel, Mail Order Brides. All right. Strider, you're supposed to be on the show. What are you doing?
He's serious. Come on.
That's
I like rice. Why not?
That's all right. Yeah, no, I mean it's not. Yeah, I can't shit. Honestly, if anything you can do to make it work, you should do. Like I'm probably gonna end up with some kind of Latina or Filipino or something like that. Also,
There's nothing wrong with Latino women, man.
Nothing. Anyway,
Nothing.
All right. Well, anyway, on that note,
something or nothing.
Except AOC.
There's nothing.
Let's see. I could fix AOC.
I think you could too. That would be.
I
sad.
think I could too. It would be fun. Because at the end of the day, guys, here's the thing about AOC. She's just a fucking bartender. Like I've hung out with bartenders before. I know what they are. Like she's just a fucking bartender. Like I can fix her. I promise, guys. Trust me.
In all honesty, you can tell
Yeah,
the women.
you're the
who are-
Republican secret weapon against AOC.
Next time we see AOC on TV, she's just going to be pregnant with Theo's love child.
Like you can tell the women that you can bring back from the edge of the cliff and the ones who are way too far down. Go ahead and try to
Yeah,
bring
dude.
back up.
No, she's pretty
approaching the
far
wall.
gone.
She can't coast on her. She can't coast on her looks for very much longer. The wall's coming for her.
No, anyway.
I think she'll be fine.
You see that giant redheaded guy that she's like paired up with?
Yeah.
He's just like not a hold on, I've got to pull up. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up.
He was her campaign manager for a while, and then people found out, and then he stopped. Something like that, right? I don't remember.
Yeah, this is hold on. She's like she wants me this is my biggest conspiracy theory. I think wait, hold on. Let me pull up this too. Let me yeah, I'm telling you, this guy, I do not believe that she's attracted to this guy, like authentically. Like that is so hard for me to believe. I'm gonna
It's
share
like
this
that
real quick.
Katosh and one chick, right? Or
Yeah, dude. Like, there we go. Like, you're telling me this guy, hold on. This guy is that gets your heart pounding. I don't fucking believe you. And that's him at his best, by the way. That's the best picture he's probably ever taken.
He looks like the backup quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals.
He looks like someone's bad memory of Prince Harry.
Well, I always
not good.
Okay, before we go, I think she's one of those folks that like she just says what gets her popular in. Because
I think so,
if
too.
you're willing to fake going in the border an offense where there's no actual kids there and take a photo op picture and pretend you're crying, you're willing to say anything. Like I don't even think Dr. Umar Johnson's even racist. I mean that's a whole other thing. I think he just says what can get him some more extra money.
That's actually right. That's the thing is the incentives with social media. We probably have time to get into this on this show, but it creates this audience capture effect where you're just like chasing engagement, chasing like I did one video on Akash Singh, which caused me to do 4 more videos on Akash Singh. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm already over this topic, but it's still driving engagement on the algorithm. Like I picked up, by the way, a bunch of new viewers on the show. So if you are new, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm very happy to have new viewers. I love you guys. It's been very cool. However, I don't want to talk about Akash Singh anymore. I don't want to talk about that anymore. But that it drives that, and I think somebody like AOC, she's appealing to just like lunatic. Leftist delusional people. Like that's her main voting block. So she has to keep being more and more and more emotional and retarded because that's what they expect of her. And she's also like trying to get whatever she's speaking in front of a camera, she's trying to say something clippable that's going to go viral and make her look good. And her base is going to be like, oh yeah, that's awesome. You did that. And it's having the same impact on congressmen that it's having on, frankly, stand-up comedy and pretty much everything else. Distilling everything into short clips is making us retarded. It's like we're not able to handle big complex ideas anymore. We have a vibes-based politics. And a lot of these creative, interesting people who would have driven the economy in an interesting direction or driven history in an interesting direction or driven industry in innovation or driven that innovation were these super independent-minded creative white guys that learned that they were retarded and they should sit down and shut the fuck up and let women lead while they were in the school system. Right. So a lot of those guys are just washed out of the economy. They're spending all day playing video games and smoking pot and jerking off because that's better then the reward from that is better than the reward they get from like interacting in real life. And that's just kind of how things are. Anyway, I've been trying to wrap up the show for a bit. I don't want to get too down this rabbit hole. This has been a lot of fun, fellas. So why don't we do this? Let's go around the horn and let everybody know where we can find you. Starting with Strider. You're 6'4" and single. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, ladies, you heard that. He's 6'4" and single. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
So you can find me here on Touch Grass and also on the Weekly Rose Gallery. Something came up tonight, so I won't be able to be there tonight, but I should be there next week. And I've been trying to get back on. It's just the holiday season just kicks me in the face. But yeah, just hanging out here and there has always been a lot of fun.
All right, great. Full Metal Nate is here. You do D&D, I believe. So what is going on over on your channel?
Well, like Theo just said, I do a lot of D&D stuff. We are still currently making our way through my Curse of Strahd campaign. Unfortunately, episode 25 is being pushed back to next weekend. This weekend has just been crazy, and there's a lot of Christmas stuff going on over here that needs my immediate attention. So we will reconvene for episode 25 next weekend on Sunday at 6 p.m. EST. Should be a lot of fun. You guys are in for the fight of your lives, Theo, so I hope you're ready for that. When I'm not doing that, you can tomorrow, right around the same time, I am going to be streaming the final DLC for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I've been making my way through that. We are at the end of Zoe DLC, so if you want to come see me finish this game once and for all so I can move on to Resident Evil Village, you can come check me out at about 5:30 p.m. EST. And tonight, you can find me on the Weekly Rogues Gallery with Iron Oxide. And then after that, you can find me on the MSK show for his birthday bash. I'm calling it the Roast of MSK because that's just kind of what we end up doing anyway. But that's about it for me, man.
All right, man. It's great. Just make sure to go check out Full Metal Nate. And then Runaway Vagabond. You host a show called I Swear It's Not Hentai that I appear on, as well as other things. What sorts of stuff do you get up to over on your channel?
Oh, okay. Well, yes, tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Pacific and 8:30 p.m. Eastern, I host I Swear It's Not Hentai podcast, where we talk about weird, obscure anime that's on the top of my head, and we did right off topic all the time. But it's a nice, fun, crazy podcast with your gooner, non-gooner, hate anime or love it. And then if you're in Georgia and going to AWA or Anime Week in Atlanta, I will be hosting I Swear It's Not Hentai panel at like 1:45 a.m. in the morning. So that'll be fun to see if I can gain some more subs from there. Other doing the same thing, but just solo, and that's it.
All right, fantastic. All right, Ed, Society Reviews is here. What's up, buddy? We got to have you on more, man. I thought that was great. Very spirited. A lot of cool stuff. I know you do a lot of stuff over on your channel. What kind of stuff can people expect from you? Where can they find you?
No, I don't do anything. I don't have a life. So, Sundays at 3 p.m. I do the Bible Ends. Tomorrow is going to be the last of a 3-part series talking about basically Jezebel in the church. So we'll talk about the sins of Jezebel that go completely untalked about because for some reason we're just scared of women. So that'll be tomorrow's episode. We do have a Barroom that I do on Tuesday nights on Rumble. We move over to a Rumble exclusive show. I just saw the Diddy documentary that 50 Cent did. And apparently Diddy sent 50 Cent a death threat yesterday over that documentary. And essentially it just exposes that Diddy has always been a psychopath that's probably been responsible for the death of multiple people. And anyone who knows Diddy over the last 30 years really isn't shocked to hear any of these things because we've known the guy. But we'll talk about that on Tuesday as well. And then I got videos. I got some stuff from the 511 show, which is a semi-daily show that I do on the YouTube side of things. And check out societyreviews.com where I do a whole bunch of article reviews, biblical related stuff. So a whole bunch of stuff that I'm working on my time periods here. So I totally don't have a life and do anything that's significant. So
Excellent. We love to see it. And for those of you that don't know, my name is Theo Snodgrass. I am a comedian podcaster out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I do this show, Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass, 11 a.m. every Saturday. I also do Theocracy, 11 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That is my solo stream. That's a lot of fun. If you want to keep track of the stuff I'm doing, you want to see me do live comedy, you want to see comedy clips, all that stuff, go ahead and follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, follow me on X. This is really important, though. We got the Stream Elements tip jar in the description. Please send me money. Also, we got my Patreon in the subscription. There's about to be a bunch of new stuff uploaded to the Patreon. Please go ahead and become a subscriber. The more money you give me, the more money I can spend making nicer stuff to give you. So keep that up. All right, Ed, that was a lot of fun. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching. I have the best audience on the internet. You guys are great. Now, please enjoy the intro to my other show as the outro for this show. Oh, shit. Ronald's here. Ronald, the show's over. What's up, retards? He's talking to you guys. All right. You guys take it easy.